right inside of the circle, move back up to the blue line. Michael Kraw with a body down in front of the net. Brendan Martin from the right side circle fires one, and they score!
Here's Sam Camara up with speed around the rim of the boards. Works it up top for Baker. He's got room. Across. Scores! Sam Camara, his second of the year. And CMU fends off the Michigan Flint Wolverines by a final of 6-5.
Thanks, buddy.
We bring you live to the frozen flatlands of mid-Michigan and to a series that marks the end of a tumultuous first semester in which the Chippewas have accumulated a 9-5-1 record. But with the end must come the beginning. And so tonight a new era begins as former captain Brendan Martin begins his tenure behind the bench for CMU in this massive series against the number 15 Lakers. Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the broadcast booth here at Martin Ice Arena in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. As we bring you inside the broadcast booth, my name is Reagan Cleaves alongside Devin Sarin. We're happy to have you along as the Central Michigan Chippewas take on the Grand Valley State Lakers in what is sure to be a fun battle here this weekend. Well, Devin, the start of a new era indeed. Brendan Martin, as it was announced earlier this week, begins his tenure behind the bench for Central Michigan here tonight.
It is, and for a former player and captain of the Chippewas for 4 seasons, it is a massive matchup for one against a really good Laker team. And we heard earlier in the week the news about former head coach Tyler Cataline being relieved of his duties. He was 24-12, 1-7 during his time with Central Michigan, and over the past year and a half took them to a national tournament run, and unfortunately saw himself leave the team. So it's a big weekend, and it's a big title swing. One that against a head coach that did a lot of good things here for 5.5 years, 6 years going on. He was the guy, and he was the promotions leader. And you talked about how everyone asked coming into the week, looking at the press release, Austin Ritter talked about how it just didn't see eye to eye. They just didn't see the good fit with the leadership group. That's talking about kind of the leadership, the locker room itself, the atmosphere. People ask, well, why did a winning head coach get released? Well, it has a lot to do with the personal relationships, and it's so important in the game of hockey, relationship to the coach, to the players. They just didn't see eye to eye, and unfortunately it led to him being released and a new opportunity for a brand new coach.
Exactly, and Brendan Martin, as we've highlighted all week, was a phenomenal leader in his 6 years here at Central Michigan. He ran out of ACHA eligibility come the end of last season, and it was tough. It was a tough exit for him, but he makes his return to the maroon and gold here this afternoon. And taking a look back at last time the Chippewas were on the ice, they took on an Adrian team who they beat the night before, a resounding 4-0 victory back 3 weekends ago. But the game 2 was a little bit of a different story, Devin. Central Michigan got out to a 4-0 lead about halfway through period number 2, and then Adrian rattled off 3 straight goals to make it a hockey game.
Yeah, and they're coming off a win that just saw them hold on to the game. It really looked like later in that period, especially the second half of the game, Adrian got their feet under them. Their top 2 scorers, Evan Bliss, Ryan Pino, got them going, and they were able to make an impact on the ice. It wasn't enough for a Bulldog win to come back, but it's important because CMU has had a couple of blown leads this year, notably 3 goals when they're leading has been their tough number, and that's what happened in the Adrian game. They were able to hold on, finish the game. Andrew Shiraki had the hat trick, and we'll talk about him coming up in the pregame show, but CMU held on, and they find themselves after a big weekend series against another good opponent.
Yeah, and the main storyline was Andrew Siraki with his first collegiate hat trick, but another player, Devin, that kind of went unsung in that game was Andrew Porzanek. He had 3 assists in that 5-3 win against Adrian, and he's continued to be a very good player for CMU up front.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's unsung. The senior has been absolutely lighting it up this year, scoring in almost every contest. He leads this team in goals and points, and we're talking about guys that needed to step up. We talked about when was the big player going to make the big moments. Andrew Porzanek has done that time and time again, and you're starting to see that. When he plays well, the rest of the team plays well, and they just have another pep in their step. So he's going to have a good game here today, but he has been one of the key pieces of the Central Michigan offense.
Yeah, indeed. He is the leading scorer for Central Michigan in all 3 categories, goals, assists, and points. So a big leader on this team in the absence of Isaac Gibbs, another storyline that has been developing over the last month. Isaac Gibbs out with injury for the foreseeable future. He was the leading scorer at the time that he got injured back in that Saginaw series, but Chippewas are without him for at least a decent chunk of time here. Taking a look around the MCHC East with that win against Adrian, Central Michigan moved to 4-2 on the campaign in the MCHC East. That's good enough for third place in the division. They sit behind Saginaw Valley State, who's 7-1, 14 points, and Lawrence Tech 4-1-0-1 with 9 points. Central Michigan just 1 point behind Lawrence Tech as we enter into the second semester, and that is where we will stand. Nobody else active in division outside of Oakland and Michigan Flint. They are playing this weekend to wrap up the opening semester. Oakland beating Michigan Flint 5-3. We kind of figured that would be a competitive series, Devin, with two teams that generally, at least the last couple of seasons, have been at the basement of the MCHC East.
Yeah, and a team like Oakland University is trying to kind of find their identity a bit. They've had some really good games against great opponents. One that comes to mind is Miami. They almost knocked off the Red Hawks at their home ice. They had a good series against Florida Gulf Coast, I believe, and Hope College. They hung in there. So Oakland's kind of finding themselves to the program, and it's good to see after they struggled for so many years. At Michigan Flint, we knew that they were talented. We saw them go to overtime with the Chippewas earlier this year. CMU won the game in overtime, and so for both those teams, that is a fun matchup to watch. And if you're a fan of either side, boy, I mean, good things to turn around in those programs, and you could see them come up in the rankings over the years.
Exactly. Oakland sits at 4 in the MCHC East, 1-2, 2 points. Michigan right behind them with 1 point on the campaign, tied with Michigan Flint. Michigan Flint sits in 6th, though, because they've played a much bigger amount of games in division than their Ann Arbor counterparts, and then Adrian brings up the rear, 0-4 on the campaign in the division. Michigan, Flint, and Oakland getting underway at 8 p.m. Tonight at Crystal Fieldhouse down in Burton. That should be a fun game to watch. We'll keep you posted on that one as we go along. Turning our attention to both these two teams on the ice, Devin. Central Michigan 9-5-1 on the year, 19 points. As we said, third place in the MCHC East. This is their first game under Coach Brennan Martin. We talked about it in the open. It seems to have fired up the Chippewa locker room a little bit with the return of longtime favorite leader Brennan Martin.
Well, of course, a former player coming back that's known by this staff. He knows how to play the game at this date and age, and we said it before, how many seniors returned to this lineup from last year. You think about Charlie Hayes, Ben Rydchuk, Andrew Porzanic. These guys know how Brennan Martin operates. They know how he speaks. They know his message. The team is trying to kind of be lightened up. This was morally a move to get them some spunk in their game. We talked about how they have not beat a ranked opponent that's been ranked as of late in the top 25 this year, 0-3-1 in those games. So this is about lighting up the team, trying to give them some motivation. We talked about how many leads they blew late in those games, how against Saginaw they had that close matchup and couldn't finish the game. His message is going to be to play those full 60 minutes and finish these games. And that's what this is about. How hard will the Central Michigan team play behind Brennan Martin? How much can he inspire this locker room and keep these guys accountable so that they can turn their season around? And they really need it tonight, because this is a game, I think, a staple matchup, not just in their conference, but for their national tournament implications. They're ranked 34th in the nation right now. Grand Valley State is 15th, but we know how crazy the rankings have been. They've been all over. Grand Valley is a top 5 team in the country. This is a massive game that, look, the hire of Martin had to come at now to get ready for this matchup, and we'll see what kind of implication he has behind the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Central Michigan, as Devin mentioned, winless against top 25 opponents this season. They are 0-4-1. Their one overtime loss coming back to Notre Dame in a 6-5 heartbreak after they came back, tied the game to send it to overtime, and it's been a troublesome season this year for Central Michigan, trying to get back on the right foot against the top 15 opponent. And another thing, they have not split a weekend series against the same opponent all season. It is either sweep or be swept for the Central Michigan Chippewas, something that they're going to try and hopefully not have to change this weekend. We could see a sweep.
I mean, look, one win against this Grand Valley team would be wonderful, but obviously you want to, especially the fact that both these games are going to be on home ice. They'll have the crowd behind them. Exciting stuff to watch here at Martin Ice Arena.
Exactly. Taking a look at the other side of the ice, the Blue Sweaters tonight. Grand Valley State 13-2 on the year. They are first place in the MCHC West, 9-1. Their one loss coming to the Ferris State Bulldogs. A bit of a surprising team this year. They've had upset wins against Grand Valley State. They came back and beat the Chippewas here at Martin about a month or two ago. And they've won 6 straight and 7 of their last 8, with that one loss coming to Ferris State. They are 6-1 on the road, and Devin, my goodness, is this power play good for Grand Valley State.
Oh, it has, and this is a unit that fires on all cylinders on all of their top 2 lines and then their 4 lines in general. They distribute the puck well. We've talked about how they have 10 different players, I think it is, with at least 3 goals this season. 14 of those have points in that same category, so it's a team that spreads the wealth of the puck, and they know how to make their power play unit work. The question is, will they get there? What kind of penalties will Central Michigan take in this game? And looking on the other side, I mean, when you mentioned that Ferris State game, I talked to head coach Dylan Knox for the Lakers earlier tonight, and he talked about how in that game, just when they were playing and dominating the forecheck, they outshot them about 60-25 in that game. But what was the killer for them was the penalties and their penalty kill unit, and how Ferris State was able to capitalize on those opportunities. That's what this game is all about, and we'll talk about it in our keys to the game. But for Grand Valley, they have to play a solid game. It's going to be chippy. It's going to be physical. We know this is a rivalry per se as far as the conference goes, and look, they're the reigning Vezina Cup champions. They have something to prove here, and that's going to be the story going into it.
Yeah, exactly. Grand Valley coming off of a series which they swept Western Michigan, which should always make a Chippewa fan happy.
Absolutely.
Anytime Western Michigan goes down, folks in Mount
Fire
Pleasant
up.
have a dandy of a time. Taking a look, series history in 15 games between these 2 teams. The Chippewas have wins in only 5 of them. They have tied thrice, and they have lost 7 times. The most recent game between these 2 teams came back in the 2020 postseason in the ACHA North Regional semifinals, where Central Michigan pulled off an upset.
It was an upset, and you talked to players like Ben Rydchuk and Austin Ritter that were there and know what that was like, and they just talk about how good the game is, how fun the matchup is. Such evenly matched teams, no matter what year it is. The series history is, 5 wins, 7 losses for Central, and 3 of those overtime to Grand Valley. And so no matter what the stakes are, no matter where they are in the rankings, it just seems like both these teams get up for this matchup, especially with all we just talked about in this pregame about the coaching change in the locker room. This is going to be an exciting one for both sides.
It should indeed be an exciting contest. Taking a look at our players to watch, the people that will make this game exciting. Andrew Siraki, 7 goals in the last 4 games. 3 of them coming in that last game against Adrian.
He's on a heater right now, and for the freshman from Northville, it's all about continuing his momentum. What he does so well is he doesn't make the most flashiest goals. He gets in the dirty areas and he bangs away at it. You know, we talked about how this forecheck group needed to start making dirty goals happen. They need to start banging away down low. Stop looking for the one-timer and passing the puck so much, and they've done that. And Siraki's always the guy to be there when it matters, to close the puck out. Doesn't make it flashy, but look, he had the hat trick against Adrian, and that's not by accident. So he has to continue what he's doing, continue pressuring, continue to be confident. That's really what it is about, his confidence on the ice. And taking a look at the other player to watch, Austin Ritter, who mans this defensive core with that top line with him and Charlie Hayes in the defensive unit. This is a confidence game for both these players to watch. They have to come out, they have to play confidence, play their style of game, and not make silly mistakes, and not allow Grand Valley to capitalize on any mistakes they make.
Yeah, exactly. As for GVSU, Chris Dundas leads the way, their only player with double-digit assists and or points. Nobody on this GVSU team outside of Dundas has double digits in either of those categories. He's got 5 goals, 11 assists, their leading scorer. That just shows you with how much they have scored this season, how well they spread the wealth.
Oh, and he makes up that chemistry. He's the playmaker on this offense. He's the one that gets everybody set, knowing their assignments, looks for the second read, and that's the key. Is we can talk about Chris Dundas being the key to player, but I can name about 5, 6, 7 Grand Valley State forwards that we'll note throughout this game that can make a difference. It's all about how that works as a unit. You got to have a leader, and Chris Dundas is one of those leaders to make a difference on this Grand Valley State offense.
Yeah, and on the other side, Dominic Stankiewicz, one of the best goaltenders in the American Collegiate Hockey Association this year. His 1.75 goals against average is 6th among goaltenders with at least 9 games, and his .944 is 2nd among that same group. He is a phenomenal goaltender. The Chippewas are going to have to beat him tonight.
He's everything Grand Valley needs in a goaltender. Somebody that's steady, somebody that when Grand Valley has had shots on them, comes up big, gives them a lot of confidence. We talk so much about the goaltending battle we have here and how guys like Lauren Jones and Elijah Jones, when they have big games, the team plays better. Stankiewicz is one of those guys, and he's such a nice goaltender. You talked about how you ref some men's game leagues and you saw him play and his confidence on the ice, but he is also a photographer off the ice for the Grand Valley State Division I team. He also does some minor League basketball and hockey. So just a great all-around human being, has a lot going for him. And I'm excited to watch this goaltender battle. Lauren Jones will get the start tonight. Another thing we'll talk about, but Dominic Stankiewicz on a tear right now in net for the Lakers.
Exactly. One of the best goaltenders of the last couple of ACHA years, along with Thomas Rofe. That was, I see a lot of similarities between Stankiewicz and Rofe. Both,
I do
both
too.
Quick goaltenders.
Except in the size.
Yes, except
the
in the size
category.
The size
Nobody can match Thomas Rofe in that one. But
Yeah.
he could put out a 2x4 with his shoulder, and he'll stop 90% of pucks in a game. It's a wonder. I mean,
Indeed, Dominic Stankiewicz and Chris Dundas, your players to watch for Grand Valley State. Moving on to our keys of the game. Devin, what do you have for us?
first of all, the Chippewas need to score first, and they got to hold this lead. I was talking to Kyle Chapman, one of the defensemen out of this game and looking to come back second semester for the Chips. He talked about how more important than ever they need to hold this lead. When Grand Valley is up in a game and they have their units going, as I mentioned, it's tough to stop them. It's tough to stop the roll that they're on. So CMU has to take the wind out of their sails right away. They got to get the first goal in this game, and I'd argue it's got to come at least in the 5 to 8 minute range just to get this team some confidence. Brand new coach, as I mentioned, brand new bench. We're going to see how they respond to that. How does Grand Valley respond? How do the Chippewas respond? Second thing is they have to have good coaching tonight. And what I mean by that is they have to stay poised. Now that Tyler Cataline is out of this lineup, it's no secret that sometimes when there was a mediated situation with referees, he'd come in there and be the man to step up and say, hey guys, let's settle the feathers a bit. Can Brendan Martin keep this team under control? Can he keep them disciplined? Can they not take bad penalties? Because if you start doing doing that against a good Grand Valley State team, they will make you pay. The third thing is they need to outman the Lakers. This is going to be a fight no matter what way you look at it. It's going to be physical. It's going to be rough. The corner battles are going to matter more than ever. They have to out-physical them. Go back to their roots. What has Central Michigan always been? A dominant physical team that wears you out mentally and physically. They have to stick to the roots tonight. They have to be confident. They have to outplay them to the puck, and that'll be the key to success for them.
9 minutes and change left before puck drop. Here's Zam's just about done on the ice, and that'll do it for our pregame show. We'll step aside. It's puck drop between the Lakers and the Chippewas coming up next here on CCHN.
Starting goalies presented by SeaMitchIceHockey.com for the Grand Valley State Lakers. They will send out number 30, Dominic Stankiewicz. Through 9 games this year, has 6 wins, 1 loss, a 1.75 goals against average, and a .944 save percentage. Really good numbers for the Lakers goaltender. For your Central Michigan Chippewas, they will send out Lauren Jones, the junior from Fenton, Michigan, with 9 games this year, has 5 wins, 4 losses, a 3.71 goals against average, and a .898 save percentage. Reagan.
Those were your SeaMitchIceHockey.com starting netminders. Taking a look at the starting 5. Central Michigan goes with Rychuk, Baker, and Flynn, the 4th line. Out there for CMU, Kielb and Camara bring up the defensive pairs. For CMU, the Lakers send out Parkhurst, Fauché, Jensen, and Gorno, along with a player who's not on our roster. We apologize for that. We'll get that for you during the intermission. There are 20 minutes on the clock. Puck is dropped at center. We are underway here at Martin Ice Arena. Into the offensive end go the Lakers, bouncing puck around on the near side by Ben Rychuk. He steams up the right wing, crunched into the boards, and it's played back into the Laker end. They're moving right to left here in the opening period. Blue jerseys, black and white shoulders, white numerals, blue pants, blue helmets, and blue socks. Central Michigan going with those home white uniforms with gold shoulders. Here's a shot there quickly there by Gorno from the high slot, and Central Michigan will try to work out. Here cut Hayden Flynn got bumped along the near side. Here Parkhurst over the line, into the circle, a shot, that was blocked, and Hayden Flynn picks it up. He, however, gave it away there to Fauché, but Rychuk gets it back for the maroon and gold and will dump it in. 48 seconds gone.
First good shift by Grand Valley. They're getting some offensive zone time. Lauren Jones saw his first shot. It's important Jones gets his feet going and gets that first good stop, because we know he's had trouble early in games getting stops. Important for the goaltender.
Here's Peters Mark over the line, and he ripped it high, and it came off the end boards. Jones had to be right on the side of that to make that save. Now an errant pass there from Omer Peters Mark will go all the way back, and Stankiewicz will come out of his net to hold. 1:15 gone. Behind his net, the Lakers will play it up to the near side. Stretch pass through center. Across the way and over the line, here's Dundas. He'll work into the shot. Gobbled up there by Lauren Jones. 1:29 gone in the opening period. Talked about Lauren Jones the past couple of weeks, Devin, in an ongoing battle with Elijah Jones for that number 1 spot. It goes back and forth about every week, and this shot goes up and out of play, but Lauren Jones he's played pretty well as of late.
Yeah, and talking to Brendan Martin before the game, look, if Lauren Jones is able to have a good game here and looks good, he'll probably send him out for tomorrow morning's game or tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, Tyler Cataline, when he was coaching this team, elected to kind of go back and forth. You normally see Lauren take the first starts anyway in games, so this is kind of a per normal, move by the coaching staff. But I like their odds. Lauren Jones is a pretty solid goaltender. He saved the game for them a couple of times this year, notably against U of M Flint. So the small goaltender from Fenton looking to make his name known against a really good opponent.
Yeah, puck free behind the net. The Lakers looking to go to work in the offensive end. Here's a shot by Mullen that popped up in the air out in front. Peters Mark was there on the doorstep, couldn't control it. Now we'll pick it up in the corner off of a pass. He'll try to throw it out in front. The shot was blocked, and here comes Brandon Clements. Clements skating across the line. Oh, he gets run into there. Good defensive work there by Mullen, and that leads to a play the other way here for Gall. He couldn't control the puck, and Braden Kielb will lift it out to center ice. Just under 2.5 minutes, and what do we have here? Central Michigan, it was playing with 6 men And so they will go on the penalty kill early here, just 2:29 into this contest.
Yep, and another uncanny early mistake, having 6-on-5 on the ice, and with that one, too many men, they're going to go to the penalty kill for that one. And look, we talked about brand new head coach Brendan Martin sitting behind the bench after Tyler Cataline was relieved of his duties this past week, and an uncanny mistake, just getting line changes going that results in a penalty, and not something Central needed early in this game. Grand Valley, one of the better power play teams in the MCHC, and if they get an opportunity in front of the net, it will make life difficult for Lauren Jones.
Stankiewicz halted that puck behind his net. That'll allow the Lakers to break out here. Central Michigan, 64 for 76 on the penalty kill this season. Up ice and over the line. The Lakers come in, dropped it off, left to the right point. Wow it around to the near side for Parkhurst. Parkhurst hold to the left point. Slides it back across. It's played back over near side to Parkhurst. He'll play it in the corner, looking for a pass. He'll hold on to it as he cycles up to the right point. Slides it across. Here's a shot, patted away by Jones, and it's taken and lifted the length of the ice there by Andrew Porzondik.
A nice stop by Lauren Jones, and what you're going to notice about this Grand Valley team is they probably move with their skates more than any other team I've seen, especially their defensemen.
Now here's a shot and a save there by Jones. It's worked up top. Here's a wrist shot from the high slot. That was there by Gorno. Kept in left point. Baker on the pressure there defensively for Central Michigan. Back up for Gorno. Gorno high slot near side. Parkhurst left circle. Parkhurst works it across for Gorno. Gorno down the wall across the way. Shoveled behind the net there for Charles Bonzer. Bonzer worked it up top, and a clearing it up, knocked away, and look out, Ben Reichuk turning on the Jets. He's over the line onside, taken down. No penalty going to be called here, or probably rightfully so from where I saw it. Now stepping over the line, here's a wrist shot, and a good defensive work there by Brandon Clements to knock that puck up and out of play.
Yeah, that was a good job by Ben Reichuk to use his body to screen past Gorno, who got back to the puck first, but Reichuk, with his size and ability to skate, just was able to stay up for long enough to hold the puck on his end over the blue line, and that was really smart because it allowed to kill off time and it forced Lakers to reset back into the zone. An important face-off coming up, and look, we don't have an official scoring metric for the time of the penalty now, but this is still an important penalty kill they have to finish.
We'll be out at 4:29. So just about 20 seconds from now. Puck free behind the net. Fauché couldn't get to it. And it'll be lifted up the wards by Clements. Kept in, though, by Jensen, the left point. He worked it free to Fauché, high slot. Working there across. It's held along the half wall. Worked up top, back down there. Pass hopped off the skate there of Peter's mark. And the Chippewas will lift it down the ice. 4 seconds to go on the power play. Central Michigan has killed off their first of the night.
And that was important because Grand Valley only had about 2 pretty solid looks on that penalty kill. Obviously, Lauren Jones getting his feet under him the first 5 minutes, a couple of good pad stops already. And now for Central, they got to go to work and find a way to get this puck banging down low. As I mentioned, this Grand Valley team is not just fast, but they work as a one-man unit.
Now look out, here's Tyler Martin trying to find Siraki on the back door. That didn't work. Siraki has stepped up big in the last 4 games, 7 goals in that span. That has catapulted him up into 4th place in the points lead for Central Michigan behind Nathan Bottles, Isaac Gibbs, as well as Andrew Porzondik. Stankiewicz holds on to a long wrister from the right point for a stoppage of play. 5:07 gone.
And as I mentioned, look, defensively, the Lakers are good at keeping their goaltender poised by blocking shots. Look, Stankiewicz is a nice goaltender that will stop the easy chances. So CMU is going to have to get creative with their offense to make the puck go past him. And look, we're going to talk about it here. The faceoffs have been such an important piece of the Central Michigan team. We saw Ben Reichuk taking faceoffs, Jay Nadeau. Nathan Bottles has recently been taking a lot in practice, Reagan, so we'll see if he gets those opportunities to take those faceoffs.
Kept to the left point by Ritter. That shot was blocked. Nadeau gets it back in the slot. Porzondik lets a snapshot go from the right circle. It was denied by Stankiewicz. Now across the way, Charles Bonzer will play it up ice. Over the line, Andrew Mulder dumps it in. Into the corner. It's battled for behind the net and eventually squirts free across the way. Skating over there is Vezina, and he gets absolutely decked there by Porzondik. But Porzondik couldn't get the puck. Battled for along the near side. Johnson takes it, throws it around the boards. Chopped out of the air there by Porzondik. His pass disrupted there by Bonzer. The Chippewas still trying to poke at it. This will come out of the zone before the Lakers fired it back in, so Chippewas get a chance to regroup.
Yeah, a couple of miscues for Grand Valley. Look out here.
Siraki in with a shot. He ripped it about 20 feet high. Looked like a penalty that England took earlier today in the FIFA World Cup.
Nice analogy. Way to use the context.
England.
We were watching that game today earlier.
Falling
both
to
of us.
France 2-1 in the World Cup quarterfinal.
It was exciting.
And
how about England's chances in that game? Oh my goodness.
Henry Kane had a penalty late in that one with about 10 minutes left, and he sailed it over the crossbar. And
hey, all I'll say is, let's go Morocco, baby. Let's go Morocco. First African nation ever to advance to, what is it, the semifinal?
Yeah, first African nation to advance to the semifinal in Croatia. The runners-up from 4 years ago back in Russia.
Love to hear it.
2018. Oh, look out. Lauren Jones played it behind the net, took a bit of a cattywampus angle off of the boards, and it led to a scoring opportunity there for the Lakers. Now here's Nathan Bottles. The transfer from Arcadia turns on the Jets. He's got Martin with him. Bottles,
too far.
Bottles turned on the Jets just a bit too much.
Yep, saw him streaking through center. He was trying to beat out those Grand Valley defenders and get inside positioning. It was just way too fast for Tyler Martin there. And good to see Tyler Martin get some more ice time. Look, he almost had a goal against Adrian in that first game against them. And seeing a lot more ice time. And look, Brendan Martin is electing with Austin Whaley to kind of switch up these lines. We see Julian Johnson working with Jay Nadeau and Porzonic now. So interesting lines from this Central Michigan group.
And it'll also be interesting to see how the absence of Connor Morgan affects this team. Van Sukema worked over the line, and a big hit there from behind. And Hayden Flynn's down. He took a run at his man.
That's going to be a tripping call, it looks like, on Clements.
The linesman blew the whistle across the way. Flynn took a hard spill.
I thought I saw something at the far side of the ice there, but yeah, Hayden Flynn obviously closest to us, down on the knee right now.
Hayden Flynn was coming into the zone on the back check, decided to label Van Sokema from behind, but he got the worst end of it. Good to see him get up, but it's an interesting decision there by Flynn to try to come in there and trying to establish some physical presence here against this Laker team, but Chippewas catch the bad end of that one.
Yeah, Flynn not really the biggest size, kind of just sitting under 6 foot, I believe. And look, he's a physical fourth liner that has known to kind of bring that presence, if anything.
That was a dangerous deflection.
Sorry, hold my breath there for a second as it came.
Lauren Jones on a quick shot there by the captain, Sam Gorno, from the right point. Defensive captain, alternate captain here for the Lakers. 7:45 gone in the opening period. Central Michigan and Grand Valley State deadlocked as we started. 0-0. Up the right wing. Gorno dumps it around the boards. Sam Camara halts behind his own net. Sends it across there for Braden Kilb. He's pinned up along the boards there by Gorno. Puck squirts free into the near circle. And it'll be Jay Nadeau trying to connect with Andrew Porzonic on a stretch pass. Just barely offsides. Parkers couldn't get out of the zone before Gorno rifled it in. And we'll have a stoppage of play, 11:48 to go, period one.
First half of this hockey game, we're seeing a lot of action from Grand Valley's top two lines. Look, Owen Petersmark has been all over a little bit. Sam Gorno, we've seen both sides of the ice playing well. And look, this offensive group is fast for Grand Valley. Look at that, just jumping off the hop right there. 27 and just getting to the puck, and that's what they kind of preach in this team, is get to the puck, all 5 men moving at once. And CMU, credit to them, they've kind of had some offensive zone time the last 3 minutes or so, continuing that right here.
Bouncing puck thrown into the zone behind the net. It's battled for and taken there by Dylan Resnick. Chippewas, though, regained control. Van Reichuk taken hard to the boards, battling for the puck. He didn't have any white sweaters there to help him out, and the Lakers come up ice. Down the left side, will step in with a shot. That's Justin Chevalier. That was knocked away.
Boy, a lot of big bodies on this Grand Valley team. We didn't mention it, or if we did in the pregame, I forget, but 5 of the 6 top scorers for the Lakers are above 6 foot, Reagan. And Owen Petersmark, number 16, look for him tonight. He is one of those big bodies, along with number 24, Chris Dundas.
Puck chopped out of the air on the near side. Brendan Clements taking the hit there from Chevalier, and the Chippewas will set it the length of the ice, but beating out the icing was Dylan Resnick, as he had to play it before it went the length of the ice. 10:34 to go here in period number one. Here come the Lakers out pies. Over the line, Peters marked with shot, caromed off of the end boards, and Lauren Jones had to knock that away. Very fluid first 9 minutes and 30 seconds, Devin. Not a ton of stoppages, lots of play back and forth, neither team being able to establish much extended zone time. On the forecheck here, the Lakers can't control the puck and neutral ice.
Oh, big collision there,
Carey. Into there by Carey and neutral ice. Puck dumped into the near side. Nathan Bottles going in after it there for Central Michigan. Good forecheck here for CMU. Now they feed it out in front. Good stick work there by Stankiewicz to knock that puck away. And Central Michigan's Charlie Hayes tries to turn and fire that in. Siraki had that caught in his skates. They'll dump it in and go off for a change. 9:44 to go, opening period. Reagan Cleves, Evan Sarah on the call for you here from Martin Ice Arena on behalf of CCHN. Derek Steele pushing the ones and twos for us here.
My good friend Calvin Keys running the camera work tonight.
Give me a second, Devin. I was getting
I know
there.
You were, but I want to give him credit where credit's due. Calvin, a big help tonight. A Mount Pleasant resident himself.
Oh, stepping out of the slot there was Charles Bonzer.
And a big CMU hockey fan, right, Calvin?
Probably not so much now that he's working with the Adrian Bulldogs.
Oh, yeah.
As part of their ACTV. Oh, that hat hit the rafters up, and good spot there by the referees to catch that. 9:07 to go in period number one.
Fans, don't forget that the CMU Club Hockey Network YouTube channel is your one-stop shop for highlights, exclusive interviews, and full game broadcasts for men's Division III and women's Division II hockey. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so as to never miss a moment of Chippewa hockey. Just go to YouTube and search CMU Club Hockey Network to find the channel. CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Here comes Benaraychuk steaming up right wing. Good finesse there on the puck there with Gorno flipping it over him. Keelan Baker controls at the Martin Ice Arena logo and dumps it in. It took a carom off of Garrett Gall, and it'll go to the far side.
How many wild pucks have we seen tonight, Reagan? Boy, that's like, I can almost count 6 now that have gone up and way into the rafters here. The small ones at Martin Ice Arena, we should say short. And look, yeah, these are two evenly teamed match, kind of what we thought, Reagan. Two physical teams. We've seen a lot of hard hits, especially at center ice. Along the board, it's been a scrum, and boy, I mean, the action's just going to ramp up. And now, look who's taking the faceoff circle. Nathan Bottles, we talked about him, massive here, and he wins it.
Bottles trying to find Siraki out in front. The bouncing puck is loose to the side of the net, and the Lakers gain control. Blue sweaters charging right to left here in the opening period. Sam Kamara dumps it down the ice. Icing waved off, though, by the front linesman. Nathan Bottles at the left point, throws it around the boards. It skips past Gorno and collected on the near side by John Hamilton. Up ice, here comes Van Solkema. And Solkema dumps it into the corner. Oh, he picked off his man. Look out! Oh, a point-blank opportunity there by Owen Carroll, and he was denied by Lauren Jones. I don't think Jones saw that one until it hit him in the pad. 8:05 to go, period one. CMU and Grand Valley State scoreless through the first 12 minutes and change.
And you know Grand Valley, now that they've seen that pressure, how he beat out Clements to the puck, or Kamara, they're going to keep doing that all night now.
Bottles stepped in trying to use Resnick as a screen, and it was sent just wide, deflected there by Stankiewicz out in front. Good keep at the point there by Jay Nadeau. He gets knocked up high there by Parkhurst, and a little bit of a scrum ensues, but both players get back to playing hockey.
Yeah, and you know, when you talked to Brendan Martin before this hockey game, he mentioned how he wants his team to play Grand Valley style and pressure them. It's kind of been that back and forth play right there, but Jay Nadeau, something that really went kind of unnoticed, I feel like, is his hustle to the puck. That's something we've kind of questioned with his play over the last couple of weeks, but right now he is buzzing this first period.
Here's Jay Nadeau over the line. His dump in, patted aside by Stankiewicz. Goalkeeper for Grand Valley almost lost his balance on the ensuing recovery, but he was able to get back up and stay on his feet. 6:53 to go. Period number one. CMU and Grand Valley State battling it out here in Martin in the first of 2 games this weekend. We'll have the series finale tomorrow at 2 p.m. Coverage starting here on CCHN with the pregame show. Now look out. Hayden Flynn beat his man to the puck. Baker on the back door. He put it just wide, and the net came off its moorings. A golden opportunity there, Devin. Central Michigan could not convert.
I'll tell you what, back in the Chippewa zone, Austin Ritter did a great job to knock Dylan Resnick off the puck and win that battle. It got the Chips going the other way. Boy, Keelan Baker had a chance right there with on the back door there, just not able to finish the play. Rychuk, and I mean, they are right now taking to the Grand Valley Lakers like what they were preaching against us is, look, playing fast, pressuring to the puck hard, and right now they are all over the ice. Look at Hayden Flynn flying around making a big hit.
Well, Hayden Flynn, that's well offsides. As a bit of a delay at the line causes the Lakers to be offside. It was Chevalier getting knocked off the puck and then entering the zone just a hair ahead of his team.
And we talked about how Grand Valley, when they get going with their style of play, when they move the puck fast and get these one-touch passes going, they look great. But when they're not, they're a step behind. And right now, I feel like they're just having a lot of miscues on offense. They're kind of more just waiting for Central Michigan to make a mistake and capitalize. And right
speaking of mistakes, a one-timer right in the right circle by Dundas, their leading assist getter. And point scorer on the air was denied. Now the Chippewas back the other way. Stankiewicz glove that one, and puck is free to the side of the net. Trying to wrap around. It's worked up top. Camara left point. Will slide it across to the near side. Clemens is shot through traffic, and Stankiewicz seals the pads. And he will hold on. 5:40 to go in period number one.
And like we mentioned, pretty even so far. We'll have to see the shot totals at the end of this period. As fans, stay tuned as we'll have the intermission report coming up here. Myself will have all of the out-of-town scoreboards for you and a recap of this first period. Look, right now still a lot of time to go, Reagan, and as long as the ACHA top 10, look, CMU's got to finish this period out. They've been playing, I think, pretty well up to this point. They got to put one in the back of the net right here and establish their forecheck.
Kielb throws it around the boards after CMU wins the offensive zone draw. Puck comes free behind, and it's thrown around the boards by Dundas. Kielb returns the favor, shoveling it around the boards to the near side. Camara picks up the loose puck from the right point. A shot, and it was denied by Stankiewicz. Johnson worked the rebound up top. Shoveled down low, hopped over the stick there of Daniel Carey. And the defenseman will have to go back and regroup for Grand Valley State. Now Johnson found Nadu. Nadu backhands it down, loose puck out in front of Stankiewicz, and poor Zondik couldn't get a handle on it. And the Lakers escaped there.
Grand Valley cannot get out of their zone right now. That's 2 or 3 times they've attempted it, and CMU's negated it, intercepting the passing lanes.
Good point work, and Porzonic was taken down along the boards. Something, Devin, that I've noticed here with Brennan Martin at the helm. Central Michigan seems a little bit calmer on the bench. They're not getting up in arms with penalties that they think should be called. There doesn't seem to be a lot of chatter, at least on the negative end, coming from that bench.
And it means they're focused, Reagan. No distractions are allowing them to get out of this game. That could have been something like we talked about, this group. How would they respond? How would the locker room presence be? They're locked in right now. You see this bench, when they are up, they're ready to get on the ice.
Van Rychuk took a run at Van Solkema. Now look out. Miller taken down. No penalty going to come of that. Now, behind the net, the Lakers come out with it, and they turn on the Jets. Up the right wing, Nielsen. They got held up there by Keelan Baker, and that one is thrown in on Stankiewicz, and Rychuk, with the pressure there for CMU, forces the netminder to cover. 3:57 to go in period one.
Yeah, that third group of Keelan Baker, Ben Rychuk, and Andrew Miller going to work. And, I talked to Andrew Miller, the freshman, earlier this week, and he just talked about how everyone, just like you mentioned, just seems so much more ready for this game. There's so much anticipation, and, boy, he is buzzing right there. He had a point-blank change, and we didn't see him get a lot of playing time when under head coach Tyler Cataline, and so maybe Brendan Martin's electing to spread the wealth in his own team.
Getting those younger players experience is going to set up your team for success later on, and that's something that Brendan Martin may have on his mind. Now the loose puck in the slot scooped up by the Lubbers. Now on the right wing. Here they come. Here's a shot that's skittered through the crease above ice level, and Parkhurst will shepherd that puck up to Dylan Resnick. As the Lakers regroup, stretch pass out of the zone. Here's Nolan Fauché. He's over the line, steps and pulled it back. Now look out. Oh, here comes Andrew Porzondik alone on a breakaway. He shoots. Oh, and Stankiewicz with the old-fashioned save. Flashing out the glove in a hybrid stance. He makes the save with 9:06 to go.
Yeah, he caught Noah Faucha at the Chippewa blue line trying to pass this puck out of midair. Porzanic takes away. We know he can turn on the Jets right there, and he does so. Boy, that was a dangerous chance. And how about Stankiewicz coming up big? It looked like he almost fell over trying to save that.
Stankiewicz was coming about 10 feet out of his net. Good goaltending play. That's what you want to do typically on a shootout, is come out and challenge that player. And oh, look out. Here the Lakers have an opportunity down right wing. Pulling up there is Dundas. Hold it at the right point. Throwing it down low. It was broken up by Clements. Puck free behind. Porzanic trying to work it free. Comes free to Nadeau on the near side. Nadeau steps around to check. Fed it out. But it hopped past Johnson. And the Lakers fire it back in.
The last 7.5 minutes have been more in Central Michigan's favor. We just mentioned, look, they look a lot faster right now on this Laker team. They're gaining the offensive zone time through the neutral zone. And for the Lakers right now, their units have to be more cohesive right now. They're having a lot of missed passes. It led to a breakaway chance for Andrew Porzanic. Right now, this first period is Central Michigan. They just got to put one in the back of the net to establish that.
Here's Baker out in front. The pass skittered through the slot. Kamara steps in from the left point off a line change to maintain possession for Central Michigan. 2:10 to go. Here's Flynn left point. He'll let a shot go, and seeing it all the way was Stankiewicz. He was able to nab that one out of the air. And one thing that we haven't touched on, Devin, is how well GVSU is blocking those shots. We saw a diving attempt there to block that one at the left point, but GVSU has been doing that all afternoon.
Well, you know, we mentioned it earlier how Grand Valley defensively is poised by blocking shots. That doesn't allow Stankiewicz to see a lot of action. He's been so good because he hasn't had too many shots to face on his zone, and that's really the key, is they play both ways in the puck. And right now, look, as good as Central Michigan's been this first period, Grand Valley State has stepped up defensively.
They've been, both these teams, playing very well through the opening 18 minutes and change. Dumping this puck in is Hayden Flynn. Dominic Stankiewicz out of his net to play it. Rims it around the board. Stankiewicz, the number 2 goaltender in save percentage through the number of games that he has played, taking the sample of all the ACHA goaltenders who have played at least that same amount. His .944 save percentage, extremely respectable. Time winding down, 75 seconds to go. Puck is eventually worked free from a board battle up to the right point. Putting on the brakes there is Ball. He'll throw down low, get it back in the circle, but he stepped over it. Lakers still maintain control. In the right circle, here's a shot. Blocked. Rebound in the slot. Saved by Jones, and the rebound taken there by Tyler Martin. That's played with a high stick. The Lakers reluctantly are going to touch it. It'll go all the way back into their own end. 50 seconds to go.
One time, and then the second time, Lauren Jones using his shoulder to stop that on his glove side. And, man, that is impressive for the goaltenders. We talked about how Stankiewicz came up big against Porzanic. That was the save of the games up to this point for Lauren Jones, and it's great to see him get that confidence. And look, right now, an important face-off. Nathan Bottles won the draw earlier. You know, a fun stat. I don't remember the exact number he told me. Or actually, it looks like they're going to elect to – oh, yeah, he's coming in now. Jay Nadeau. Bottles didn't take a lot of face-off before his time. In high school, he was a winger. In college, he was a winger. There's a good save there after Siraki's shot.
Siraki came in. He was positioned on the off wing on the near side, kind of at the top of the circle in that automatic firing position, and he was able to come in and pick up the puck and get a nice shot off.
But when I talk about Bottles, I was continuing my point, Reagan, is he didn't take a lot of face-offs before college. Recently, in the last couple weeks, he's taken a lot more practice. He's looked a lot better, and it's something they've had to answer, and right now they've been winning that battle.
Chris Martin misplayed that puck, and it leads to a Grand Valley chance the other way. Chasing the puck in there is Jansen. After an ensuing battle, Andrew Siraki tries the stretch pass to connect with Bottles. That doesn't work. Bit of misdirection there by Austin Ritter. Central Michigan working up the near side. Andrew Siraki throws it around the boards. Stankiewicz out of his net to play it, throws it around the boards. Across the way, it's taken there by Grand Valley. Battled away, though, by the Chippewas, and the Lakers dump this down the ice. It will roll short of an icing. Jay Nadeau's got to be quick with it. He's got some pressure here from the Lakers. Oh, good defensive work there. As time expires by Brennan Martin. Not diddly squat on the scoreboard, Devin. 0-0 after one period of play. We'll step aside. Devin Serra with the first intermission report on the other side. We are scoreless after one from Martin.
stand back like you did for pregame.
Welcome back inside Martin Ice Arena for the first intermission report presented by SaveMitchIceHockey.com. I'm Devin Serra, one half of the broadcast crew here for today's game. And boy, what a back and forth period that was between Grand Valley and Central. Both teams playing pretty evenly matched. Shot totals officially Grand Valley 11, Central Michigan 10. The only penalty to report in that entire period was too many men on the ice. In disgust of Central, the first 4 minutes of the game, they were able to kill off that penalty, get back to the 5-on-5. So it remains a 0-0 game, and really the first half of the period seemed like it was Grand Valley. They're getting their forecheck going. Lauren Jones, the goaltender, had to make some phenomenal stops. He's been doing that great this period. And then later, it seemed like Central got some movement under their feet. They had all 4 of their lines really going, as Hayden fully got a lot of ice time. Tyler Martin, Andrew Miller, guys we usually don't point out, and Andrew Porzonik, Andrew Siraki, the notable usual goal scorers on this team, making an impact early. And boy, they've taken it to the Lakers on the forecheck. So really, CMU's offense has been great, but just as equally as good has been Grand Valley's defense, blocking his shots in front of the goaltender Stankiewicz, and he's had to come up with some big saves himself. So that leaves us at a 0-0 game between two very evenly matched teams, like we predicted coming into this one. Officially for our out-of-town scoreboards, number 1, Springfield College taking on Thomas University. That game slated for a 9 p.m. puck drop just for an hour or so from now. Number 2, Hope took down Rowan College 7-2 last night. The final in that one. Hope College remains at only 1 loss of the year. They only won to Saginaw Valley State. All through teams 3 through 7 in the top 10, including Missouri State, UMass, Notre Dame, Arkansas, and Air Force inactive tonight. Sacred Heart taking on Marine Merchant. That game was slated for a 7 p.m. puck drop. No score update there. Maritime College inactive, and then Saginaw Valley State, after just narrowly edging out the Davenport Panthers, who have been making a string of upsets as of late. They took down Florida Gulf Coast last week and split that series. A major upset. They're in action at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that game on Saginaw Valley State's YouTube as well as Facebook channels for that one. And then finally, our Chippewa scoreboard for out of town. It's men basketball taking on Tulsa. No update there. And then gymnastics will be in action for an exhibition against Michigan, Western, and I believe Grand Valley, ironically enough, for this week. So that is our out of town scoreboards and Chippewa scoreboard update. We'd also like to make another notable score update. Oakland University, as we mentioned last night, taking on University of Michigan Flint, and they'll be in matchup tonight as well. No score update from that one as well. So as it looks, both teams pretty evenly matched in this one right now, and it's setting up an exciting second period. Central is going to have to find a way to capitalize on Grand Valley's mistakes, and vice versa for the Lakers side. So that's where we sit after 20 minutes. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back shortly for second period action here on CCHN. You're watching Central Michigan and Grand Valley State. Back after this break.
Period one is in the books. 20 minutes is on the clock for period number 2 as we bring you back inside Martin Ice Arena. Reagan Cleaves and Devin Serra on the call for you. Derek Steele pushing the 1s and 2s. Calvin Keys working the camera for us. Thank you, gentlemen, for helping us out this afternoon. Central Michigan and Grand Valley State, Devin, deadlocked after 1.
A pretty even period. It looked like we were talking before the break ended that Grand Valley was the better team for the first 10 minutes, just faster. Looked like they had a lot more shots on net and a better forecheck. And then CMU got better as the period went on. They had a lot more lines involved, only their third and fourth lines, and had a lot of good shots on Stankiewicz, who came out to challenge Andrew Porzonik after he had a breakaway chance. So it's been a pretty back-and-forth game so far, and for both sides, I would be happy with either result.
Both teams sending out their lines that they started in period number 1. For CMU, that is the fourth line of Flynn, Baker, and Reichuk. And for Grand Valley State, their forward line is Parkhurst, Fauché, as well as Nielsen. Here's Nielsen on the near side, tried to connect on a stretch pass with Parkhurst, but it was batted away there by Keelan Baker. Picking up the puck here is Fauché around the boards, taken by Camara behind the net, and a shot from the half wall there by Sam Gorno was denied by Lauren Jones. Jones faced 11 shots in that opening period. And for him, it's much of a confidence game as you can get here against the number 15 team in the nation, and he's been playing pretty well.
Yeah, you think about the last game he played, Reagan, against Adrian, and a win after he only allowed 3 shots, and before that it was against Notre Dame. And so he's had a couple of big games to come up with, and probably this is the biggest one. I wouldn't say just of his season, but of his career.
Well, Hayden Flynn played that bounce, but it skidded right by him. He had an opportunity to go the other way with it if he had gotten to that puck. Now it's tipped into the offensive end here for Chevalier, but he couldn't get to it. The Lakers control across the way. Bouncing puck at the left point, stripped there by Ben Reichuk, and he went for the layout there on Resnick, but completely fanned on it.
Well, he pushed the puck too far and allowed Resnick to gain possession, so he's trying to knock him back off there. And CMU kind of continuing just in the first 2 minutes what they were doing at the end of that first, and controlling the zone and making sure Grand Valley can't do anything when they do set up. They can cycle the puck all they want, but they can't set up with it yet.
Oh, look out. The Lakers have numbers. Here's Chris Dundas down the left side. He's got Siraki to beat. He goes to the backhand, and Jones denies him. Net came off for just a little bit of a second, but Jones was able to put it back on as play stays underway. Chopped into the offensive end. Austin Ritter tried to connect with Bottles on the stretch pass. Doesn't work. 17:48 to go in period 2. It's been all GVSU here through the first couple minutes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful feed up to Chris Dundas. Kind of like how Reagan Cleaves with Cleaves Catering delivering to our producer and cameraman here for the intermission, and I had to put it in there after Calvin Keys gave me the line. I have to give him credit for that one. He's our director of public relations, but he's also the director of catering for CCHN here.
Line, Devin.
I didn't steal. I asked if I could use it. He asked me to use it.
That line.
Oh, please, shut up. Put a candidate. Call the game, bud.
Playback underway down in the Central Michigan end. Sam Mullen works it down low behind the net. Oh, it came out in front, and Bonzer had an opportunity right in the slot, but he overskated it. Bouncing puck at neutral ice. Coming in here is Jay Nadeau down the left side. He's taken down, and that's about as clear cut of a hook as you are going to get. And Central Michigan, after not having a power play in the opening period, will head to the man advantage for the first time. 2:47 into period 2.
And some nasty dekes right there by Nadeau, going inside, outside on his backhand forehand. He's stepped not just one but 2 Grand Valley defenders, Andrew Mulder and Daniel Carey. And look, Carey trying to get back after he gets inside positioning, just hooks him right there and brings up for the penalty call. And look, CMU, a very important power play, and Julian Johnson's got to dig in here. They got to get some offensive possession.
Central Michigan was held scoreless on the power play in their second game against Adrian for only the 4th time all year, and they score! Tipped in front by Keelan Baker. Sam Camara Let it go from the right point. And 11 seconds into the power play, CMU strikes first. It's 1-0.
Baker doing such a good job of tipping that in front. He's done that all year long as the captain gets down low after Camara sent one from the blue line. He'll get the assist right there. And CMU, after they've had a struggling power play unit the last 4 games, comes up big in their first chance. And like we mentioned, get the first goal in this hockey game, get themselves going. And that one is massive for the confidence of this group.
And a good shot by Camara and an even better redirection by the captain out in front. A power play goal for Central Michigan. They've got their first lead of the game. So Camara getting the assist, and for him, freshman out of Orchard Lake St. Mary. Ooh, big collision behind the net for Camara. That is assist number 2 on the year. He's already got 3 points coming into tonight, but doing a good job to get on the score sheet with a nice shot there from the point.
Didn't take long on the power play either.
No, it did not. 11 seconds into the man advantage. Central Michigan, for the first time in 2 games, on the scoring the man advantage. Now, Clements in the slot. Let that go, and it went by, skittered right by Stankiewicz and Devin. Brandon Clements still looking for point number 1 of the year.
Yeah, that's a wonder to say right there. The defensive freshman has been all over for that, both offensively and defensively. Just doesn't have anything to show for it. And boy, he is. If I had to have a fan favorite pick to score, and I hope you folks at home get happy when he does, it's Brandon Clements, and such a nice guy off the ice too. We'll talk to you. He's got the absolute beautiful lettuce too. How about that? Up there with the best guys in the team for the lettuce. Him and Kielb.
Reminds me of Grand Rapids Turner Elson from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Very much with the long locks there was Turner Elson for Grand Rapids.
You know, somebody the other day gave me a line from this Instagram guy called Freezer Tips, whatever that means, and he uses this term called Fortnite gliders to describe
oh, look out, here
lettuce.
Comes Grand Valley State. Pass across, Owen Fanning on it. There was Chevalier, and Central Michigan escapes there. A golden opportunity for the Lakers. Puck down to the offensive end here for Grand Valley. Stabbing away at it, there is Sam Gorno. Puck is free in the corner. It's worked up top here for Petersmark. Petersmark down the wall, sending it through across the face of goal. There was Mulder, and the Chippewas are able to bounce it out. 4:53 gone in this period. Oh, look out, good keep here by Siraki. Who worked in, and flashing the leather there with confidence was Dominic Stankiewicz. Taking a look now at this date in Chippewas history. Back in 2016, Michigan defeats Central Michigan comfortably 3-1 at the Isabella County Events Arena on Saturday, despite being outshot 46-25. The netminder for Michigan was Alex Chen, and he had a phenomenal night, 46 of 45. And that's your date in Chippewas history. Clock didn't start for a good 20-25 seconds. They're off of that face-off, about as long as it took me to read this date in Chippewas history. So we'll have to readjust that during the next stoppage of play. Here's Bonzer cutting through. Got denied at the line, and here comes CMU. Then Rychuk steps around Gorno, but he got a shoulder. There, and a good check there by Jorno at neutral ice. Here's Porzon, top of the right circle, his shot. That was blocked. Rebound bounces away, and here come the Lakers. Here's Mulder up left wing. Good back check there by Andrew Porzon. They got the stick knocked away, but it's great defense there by CMU's leading scorer.
And they've been doing this all period, Reagan, beating their men to the puck, not allowing Grand Valley to set up in the offensive zone. And look, they're creating transition the other way, and they're passing the puck really well, too. Look at Ben Rychuk moving with speed.
Rychuk over the line, dropped it out in front for Porzonic. He got tangled up, couldn't get to that puck in time, and now across the way, it's Samuel Molen.
Woo, he is flying. Look at Benny go.
Rychuk all over the ice. Look out, he's got the puck along the half wall across the way. Porzonic behind the net trying to work that puck free. It's eventually taken there by Carey, but he gets decked there by Ben Rychuk. Now here's Charles Bunzer over the line for the Lakers. Toe drags into the circle, his shot. That popped up in the air. They jam away at it. Where is it? It's behind the net. Now they work it out in front. Great defense there by CMU, and more specifically Jay Nadeau, who work it up the wall just out of the reach of Tyler Martin. And the Chippewas will be forced to regroup.
Nothing is free for Grand Valley. They get the pressure in front of the net, trying to get a shot off, and Jay Nadeau's right there to negate it. CMU understands they cannot allow Grand Valley to play their style and pressure them. They are taking their game to the Lakers right now, and it's paying off right now in a 1-0 lead, holding them at bay.
And Solkema dumps it in behind the net. Central Michigan has been doing a good job to get out of their zone. Now a lead pass ahead. Siraki overskated it. Here's Johnson, dropped it back. Van Solkema intercepted though. Puck free across the way, just inside the Laker line. It eventually comes out, and Daniel Carey, the defenseman, up left wing. Full toe drag at the bottom of the circle. Tried to feed it out in front, knocked away though by Fauché. Now here's Andrew Siraki. He's got a 2-on-1 with Johnson. Left it over for Johnson to the right wing. Johnson on the half wall, up top to Martin. Put it down for Siraki.
Oh.
And keeping his pad on the ice there was Stankiewicz denying Siraki, and now Siraki goes down, wanting a penalty. I didn't really see one, as it looked like he was falling down before the Laker got his stick in there. Now the Lakers come down the ice, and Bunzer tried to get that away, but it was knocked away. Siraki jumps at it at neutral ice, sends it around behind Dominic Stankiewicz. The 2-2s go at it behind the net. Carey and a right shot. It's eventually worked to the near side.
And, you know, Reagan, Central Michigan is flying right now. I mentioned Ben Rychak, but this whole entire forecheck and backcheck group is just getting there.
Fauché to the near side. A shot there by Nielsen.
Another intercepted shot, pass. It does not matter what Grand Valley throws at the net. CMU stopping it.
Now, a shot from the right point there by Dylan Resnick.
And the iron is, too.
Found its way past Lauren Jones, and it goes up and out of play. Ringing the dinner bell.
You know, if you're
Resnick from the right point.
If you're a Grand Valley State fan, this is a lot of uncanny play. Usually this is the style Grand Valley makes. Pressure the forwards, win your battles, get the board battles going, and they are just being hounded in their own zone. They can't get any sort of transition going.
It reminds me of when they matched up with Ferris State, Devin. Ferris State, a team that really has no business beating this Grand Valley State team, beat them in resounding fashion 7 games ago.
And let's remember why. They took advantage of the penalties. When Grand Valley got on the penalty, they scored, I think it was 2 power play goals in that game, I was told, by head coach Dylan Knox. But regardless, they're taking advantage of the Lakers' mistakes.
Now over the line, here come the Lakers. Fauché down low. Works it free to the near side. Taken there by Nielsen. Nielsen slides it across. Resnick on the one-timer. Kept it along the ice, and CMU's Lauren Jones was able to make the save, and his defenseman clear it out. 9 minutes gone here in period 2. CMU up 1-0 on the Lakers after a power play goal from Keelan Baker. His 6th of the year. Big collision just inside the Chippewa line. Here's Johnson over the line. His clearance down low was knocked away, and it'll be taken here by Carson Becks. Slides it across for Nielsen, and he'll dump it down the ice. Lots of play in the neutral zone here for both these two teams. None of them able to generate any offensive opportunities. Now look out. Speaking of which, here's Parkhurst. He was denied along the near side. A great opportunity there for the Lakers, but look out. Here comes Andrew Siraki over the line. We'll throw it down low. Here's a shot from a tight angle, and a good save there by Stankiewicz.
How bad do you think Siraki wants to score? That's 2 good looks for him in the last 3.5 minutes, Reagan.
Now Austin Ritter took down Nielsen along the boards right in front of us here in a broadcast perch. A stretch pass for Bottles goes just by him, but he will be able to wave and beat out the icing, and a shot from the half wall by Andrew Siraki is held on to by Stankiewicz. 9:55 to go in period 2.
The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the CMU Club Hockey Network, MAC TV, and Moore Hall Television. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the ACHA, CCHN, MAC TV, and MHTV.
4 companies, Devin. Nice job fitting that
Thank you. I've been on it tonight with those. You know who else has been on it, though, is this top group for Central Michigan. They haven't had to play a lot of time, but when Nathan Bottles is out there, Camara, he's been phenomenal defensively. And how about Braden Keel? He had a big interception earlier in this period. Look, this faceoff is big, but it's more of CMU's period right now. This first 10 minutes have been all in their favor, I'd say.
They keep generating opportunities, but Grand Valley State has had their share of them, too. Parkhurst was Denied on a good opportunity, and now falling down there was Nathan Bottles, and from one knee he lifted it high. Here comes Grand Valley back the other way. Over the line, good play there by Braden Keel to knock Jensen off the puck. It's thrown around the boards, chasing after it there is Petersmark into the corner. He's knocked down. Owen Bottles directed into the boards, battling forward there with his opposite number, Chevalier. Now a bouncing puck at center on the far side. Miller saw Jensen coming for the hit and decided to give it to him.
And the bench liked that one.
Here come the Lakers. A shot there through the wickets of the defenseman by Dundas. And it was sailed wide of goal. Now Lauren Jones takes the opportunity as it's thrown in on him. Oh, hold on for a whistle.
I just noticed, too, Brendan Martin, the new interim head coach, we talked about him replacing Tyler Cataline. Him and Austin Whaley went over and gave head tops to Andrew Miller and Nathan Bottles. Why? Because they're playing physical, fast. They're being disciplined. They're not just the goal-scoring abilities that they came to this team for. Right now, we talked about how that head coaching change was such a big move for Central. Look, right now, that bench looks a lot more alive, and I'd say disciplined than they have been.
Nice in the call here on CMU.
What was the comment you made earlier, Reagan? They look a lot calmer. They look a lot more focused on the game. Composed. That's a good word to describe it.
Chippewas, it seemed for a long time under Tyler Cataline. Yes, he was a successful coach. He did great things for this program, especially in that 4-year stint before his most recent one. And it was one thing that we noticed, Devin, that CMU really had a hard time keeping composed, keeping their head cool and staying in the game. Now look out, here's an opportunity, stepping into the slot and ripping one high. There was Petersmark. Now here's Carey at the right point. His shot was blocked. He gets it back on an intercept from Hayes. And now that one whistled wide as Camara tipped that in the high slot. Carey takes it and dumps it in behind Lauren Jones. 8:15 to go, period 2. Reagan Cleaves, Devin Sarah on the call for you here from Martin Ice Arena. We got Derek Steele on the controls and Calvin Keys working the camera for us on semester break from Adrian College.
So 8:08 to go in this second period. Look, we've mentioned it. CMU just continues to pressure Grand Valley in their own zone. They're generating offensive zone time, but we can't stress enough. The defense has been good, intercepting those passes. They had to win the neutral zone. They're doing that in the 5-on-5. And look, Grand Valley is still a dangerous team. I mean, they can.
Oh,
what a stop!
Dangerous redirect in front there by Charles Bonzer from about 2 feet in front of Lauren Jones, and a stellar goaltending performance.
As good as CMU's been, Grand Valley is a dangerous team that can find that goal out of nowhere, even when it seems like they don't have the offense that they want. And that's what makes the best teams. So, look, they have to keep the pedal on. They have to continue pressuring like they have been, and that's going to be the message.
Now the Lakers from in tight. A shot there once again by Mulder.
You need good goaltending as well.
Now here's Jay Nadeau, a 3-on-2 for CMU. Along the outside, Nadeau pulls up, trying to find Porzonik and went through his wickets. He collects on the near side. Up top for Austin Ritter, skip by him, and look out. Bonzer's got speed on a 2-on-1 with Martin. He feeds it out in front. Pulling up, there was Mulder, and he tried to pick the top left corner, but shouldering that aside was Lauren Jones. Interesting decision there by Martin to go for the puck rather than the man across the way, and holding on to this one was Lauren Jones on the shot from the high slot.
And Bonzer beat rid of the puck. He kind of just stationed there like a traffic and cone and tried to keep that at bay, but it got past him. And Bonzer, I don't know who was that pressured him. I think it was Porzonik. He just couldn't get this to the slot in time for a one-timer rip. It forced Mulder to kind of go back on his shoulder and make the shot happen late. So if that play happens any faster, this could be a 1-1 hockey game.
That's a good opportunity there. Martin was able to disrupt that play enough to make Mulder wait up for it in the high slot. If that pass had been forward of his position, he would have been able to just walk in and fire it right on.
And, you know, you talk about the face-offs, how important they are. We stress this so much here on CCHN about how important it is. Why? Well, CMU hasn't been the greatest face-off team up to this point in this year. And Nathan Bottles is out on the ice. They're going to get the look with this top group. And, boy, how about Andrew Miller, the freshman, getting more ice time? Again, I'm just going to reiterate the fact we mentioned earlier. They are spreading the wealth of the playing time a lot more with this Central Michigan team.
after that first 10 minutes had been controlled by CMU. Oh, good shoulder there by Sam Camara to knock his man down in Chevalier. And now battling for the puck in the slot there was Nathan Bottles.
And the physicality is there. We mentioned how physical this game would be, and right now I'd say the Chippewas are winning that category too.
Nathan Bottles ahead on right wing to Miller. Whole work into the wrist shot. Sticked away by Stankiewicz, causing a couple of the fans behind the net to jump. Something I've always wondered at is why the fans behind the net will jump. They bought those tickets. They decided to sit there. I mean, you might as well expect a shot coming your way. Here come the Lakers off of an offensive zone opportunity for CMU. Down the left wing, here's Peters Mark throwing it out in front. It's skidded away. Now look out, Ben Rychuk with numbers for CMU. He's got one man to beat to the outside. Whole work around the outside of the circle. Trying to wrap around in front. They score! Hayden Flynn! 2 goals for CMU! And Rychuk has another point on the year. It's 6. It's 2-0.
Just like he did against Saginaw Valley State, he wraps it around the goal, finds the man out in front to get there, and how about Hayden Flynn to do it? The senior fourth liner, oh my goodness, that's a beauty to score right there. Gets his first goal of the season, Reagan, in beautiful fashion, and Central Michigan buzzing in transition the other way. How about Rychuk to step up right there and make the play happen? That is such a beautiful goal that CMU has prided themselves on, and Rychuk with now his 6th assist of the year.
That fourth line doing it again for CMU. They have been on fire as of late. Ben Rychuk now on the year has 6 assists. He has been in fuego as of late. Charlie Hayes picks up the puck behind the net. Rychuk, that's his 5th assist in the last 6 games. Now, speaking of which, here's Rychuk. Works it down low for Baker. Baker pulls up. He's got Hayes high at the left point. He'll tee it up and fire it. It was blocked into the corner. Ben Rychuk there to pick up the loose change. Stapled to the boards, he picks it up, tries to stuff it home on Stankiewicz, and he gets shoved into Stankiewicz. And
oh no, look how Stankiewicz is not happy with Rychuk. He boiled over into the netting, and Stankiewicz was telling him, "Get off me," and pushed him aside and caused the net to come off.
Trying to get out of there. He doesn't want to be in there, as he was shoved into there by the Laker defense, and I mean, rightfully so. Stankiewicz is a little bit unhappy with him keeping him in the crease, but
especially after giving up a goal and giving them a 2-0 lead, he's going to be frustrated there, and I don't blame it. But boy, I mean, that's the first post-whistle scrum we've kind of seen out of these teams so far. Again, you got to wonder, look, on CMU's side, they've got to lead in this game, 2-0. They're exactly where they want to be. Can Grand Valley keep their composure now, and can they get themselves kind of back in this hockey game? Because, look, this second period up until about the 9-minute mark was all Central Michigan, and rightfully so. And, look, they're just trying to get personnel settled right here for the Lakers side. They're going to send out 28, Dylan Resnick, and number 6. Yeah, that's all I got.
Now Nadeau off the draw, trying to find Porzondik. He'll work it up for Ritter. He'll wind up and let a floating clapper go high. Rebound controlled by CMU. Martin turns and fires. It's deflected up and out of play. 4:58 to go in period 2. Stay with us for intermission number 2. We'll have the intermission report for you. Take a look at the professional out-of-town scoreboard. Grand Rapids in action tonight against Hartford. We'll get you a score update on that, along with how the Red Wings did against Dallas today. And the Spirit in action against North Bay later on tomorrow. Now a shot right off the draw was denied there by Stankiewicz. Bouncing puck around at neutral ice by Fauché. He's over the line, drop back, look out. Andrew Porzondik picks up the loose change. He's harassed there from behind there by Braden Nielsen. Good defensive work there by the Lakers. Here's Fauché stepping over the line past Nadeau, pulls up in the circle, and a shot go. Sticked away there by the sound of it by Jones. Played back to the near side, puck free behind the net. Parker's shoveling it out in front, loose puck in front of Jones, and it'll come trickling back to the GVSU end. Now Siraki tried to work the puck free, and Eventually the Lakers able to get it out. Now here's Parkhurst over the line, left side, sends it to the near side. Fauché dekes around into the circle. Loose puck, he goes to the backhand, denied by Jones. Rebound is stuck behind him. He doesn't know where it is, and CMU is eventually able to dump it down the ice. And there will be no whistle, even though the net came off its moorings, as the referee has time to reset.
Reagan, that was so dangerous. Noah Faucha had a back door, no one playing the puck behind him, and he was right there on the doorstep, and Jones came up big again.
Jones has had a couple of key saves in this one, winning that series right there. 3:36 to go, period 2. Puck free at the side of the net. Chippewas able to get it. And here's a shot. It bounces up in the air. Free in the slot. Comes into the corner. Bouncing puck up top. Kept in there by Gorno. Gorno down the wall for Mulder. Mulder works it free. Fed out in front. Here's a shot at him. Glove save on the second opportunity. Jones juggled it, but the shot from Jensen was denied nonetheless. 3:16 to go, period 2.
Now let's talk about this defensive unit for CMU. What has been one thing that they've struggled with up to this point? Staying disciplined in front, clearing away pucks from their goaltenders. Every time Lauren Jones has had a second opportunity for Grand Valley, they're in there to whack away at the stick. They're in there making diving plays right there. I believe it was Julian Johnson making one. So, look, they're just playing a lot harder. They're playing with so much more effort in front of their goaltender. And Jones, when he has to make that big glove save like he just did, is coming up with it. Goaltending, good defensive discipline.
Oh, boy.
That's really been why. Like, we can talk about the goals, but that's what's keeping Grand Valley off the board right now, and that's so important.
Gorno and Porzon got tied up in neutral ice, gave each other a couple of healthy whacks with the lumber, but referees decided to let them go. Braden Kiel halts behind his net. 2:53 to go. Period number 2. CMU up 2-0 on the number 15 team in the nation. And Valley State.
Oh, look out.
Now
2-on-1 developed.
Here's Julian Johnson. Deeks around the defense. Loose puck to the corner. Jay Nadeau after it. It's worked free to the near side. Taken there by Chevalier. Mulder had the pass intended for him intercepted, but he's carried back up right wing into the zone. He'll work around the outside, out in front. Good stick work there by the Central Michigan defense to knock away Bonzer's opportunity. Nadeau takes it from neutral ice and dumps it in on Stankiewicz. Chippewas go for changes. 2:11 to go, period number 2. 2-0 CMU leads off of Flynn's first of the year and Baker's sixth. Here's Rychuk. He'll tee it up and fire.
Wow.
It looked like it was going high nonetheless, but Stankiewicz there to hold on. 2:01 to go, period 2.
The senior from Granville is having a terrific game right now. Obviously, Rychuk with an assist. Now he's got an assist and a goal in his last 2 games. And look, right now he just took away a deflection right there after a Grand Valley player tried to clear the zone. That's the important stuff right there. It's those little things, clearing away the pucks, creating blocks, and getting transition the other way. And look, right now, the CMU's doing it all facets, and Rychuk's, as I will reiterate, having a terrific game so far.
Here's Hayes up the wall for Rychuk. Bounces back into the CMU end. 1:41 to go here in period 2. CMU up by 2 against Grand Valley State. They've been able to find opportunities past Dominic Stankiewicz on second chance opportunities. Rychuk pinned up along the boards. Hayes keeps it in left point down the wall to Martin. His pass into the slot was knocked away, and it pops up into the air, gloved out of there by Daniel Carey. 75 seconds to go in the period. Charlie Hayes will retreat back to his own line. He's got some forecheck pressure from the Lakers, but he gets it up.
Oh, and Rychuk gets barreled into right there.
I think just coincidental. Neither player was really paying attention. They're not going to call that one. Just ran into each other. And Rychuk able to negate that icing with his proximity to the puck. Oh, Andrew Miller had a good opportunity. CMU almost had too many men there. Lucky they didn't call
Once again, remember they had too many men in the first 3 minutes of the hockey game.
Down on the right side, here's Chevalier. In the corner, harassed there by Ritter. Throws it out in front, high slide. Here's a shot. Knocked away. It's free. Comes to the near side. Here's Becks. Carson Becks throwing it out in front. Nobody there in blue sweaters. Central Michigan running around to their own end, and they score! Justin Chevalier cuts the deficit in half with just under 20 seconds to go. The Lakers are right back in this one.
Yeah, that's a tic-tac-toe play right there, and Carson Bex was working in behind the net, got that one out in front, and it leads to a Laker goal. And look, they were just pressuring. We talked about how it can come in an instant right there with this Laker group. They really didn't have sustained pressure for most of the period, but late in these periods, CMU, once again, I don't know if we have a stat for it, Reagan, but they give up another goal within the final minute of the period. And look out, they're not done yet, it looks like.
Chevalier's 4th of the year, and now that I think about it, this game, this period might be supposed to be over, because they did miss starting that clock earlier in this one, and now Central Michigan up the wing. Here's Nathan Bottles, goes into the half wall, throwing it down low. Siraki's behind the net. Chippewas won't get another opportunity. The clock not on the side of the Chippewas. 20 seconds left in that one, and GVSU gets on the board. That puts us 2-1 heading in to the break. We'll be right back with the out-of-town scoreboard and a second intermission report here on CCHN. Reagan Cleaves back here inside the frigid Martin Ice Arena, talking with our game day staff. We can see our breath in here, and probably not a good sign to how cold this arena is, but nonetheless, it's 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Central Michigan opened up the scoring just 2:59 into that middle period. Keelan Baker tipping home a shot from Sam Camara at the right point. He tipped it right in front of Dominic Stankiewicz, and it was a good redirect down in front of Stankiewicz, and he was able to put it past him for the 1-0 CMU lead. Then Hayden Flynn finished home a gritty, hard-working play by Ben Rychuk about with 13:52 gone in the second period. Rychuk hustled down the left side, was able to fend off the defender as he went around the net, and he was able to find Hayden Flynn wide open in the slot, who jammed it home for the 2-0 CMU lead. Now, at some point in that second period, there had been a point where at about 15 minutes left, the clock didn't start on time. And you're thinking at that point, okay, they'll reset it after the play. I don't think they reset it, which comes into effect 20 seconds left in the period. Maybe even time may have run out if they had started that clock on time at the end of the period, but with 20 seconds left, Chevalier got his team on the board from Risnick and back. That brought GVSU on the board. It was a nice finishing play in the slot, clapped it over Lauren Jones, but if they start that clock on time, who knows if the period is ended by that point. We'll never know. CMU and GVSU, though, separated by 1 goal apiece at the end of 2 periods of play. Shots on goal in that second period, 17-10 GVSU. That brings them to 28-20 after that 1-shot lead at the end of 2. Lauren Jones has saved 27 on 28, and Stankiewicz 18 on 20 shots on goal. CMU, their lone power play opportunity in that period was successful. 11 seconds in, Baker's goal made that a 1-zip game. Taking a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, Grand Rapids on the East Coast finishing up their East Coast trip against Hartford tonight. They won against Springfield last night, 2-1 in overtime, coming back in that one from a 1-goal deficit late. They are about there are about 18:40 left in that second period. You can listen to that game on Wood Radio, 1300 1069 FM in Grand Rapids, or on iHeartRadio, or you can watch it on AHL TV. The Spirit are inactive tonight. We'll play the North Bay Battalion tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can listen on WSGW out of Saginaw, 790 AM, 100.5 FM. The Wings successful against the Dallas Stars today, falling to the Dallas Stars 3-2 in overtime. My bad on that one. The Hurricanes will face the Red Wings on Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can watch that game on Valley Sports to try taking a look at the rest of the National Hockey League. Ottawa beat Nashville 3-2 on the road. Tampa Bay knocking off Florida 4-1. And those are the only final games here today. But in action tonight, Pittsburgh up 2-0 on Buffalo at the end of 2. Calgary and Toronto deadlocked at 3 at the tail end of that second period. LA up 2-0 at the end of 2 over Montreal, and Carolina up 1-0 on New York halfway through period number 2. The only other game in the National Hockey League yet to get underway is Minnesota at Vancouver. That'll get underway at 10 p.m. That'll do it for our second intermission report. Both teams gearing up to get back on the ice here at the end of, here to start period number 3. We'll be right back for the third period of action here on CCHN. Dude, you took a long time. No! 40 minutes to get back. And we're back here inside Martin Ice Arena. Derek Steele not letting us know that we were back on air.
Yeah,
Come
thanks,
on,
bud.
Derek. Thanks.
Letting us go. Off-air banter.
Yeah, you're getting a sneak peek at what things are like behind the scenes. Lots of
Discourse.
yeah, lots of discourse.
Discord, yeah.
Polite discourse.
Discord, that's the word. Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of discord right now on the bench because for CMU, look, they let up a goal within the final minute of the frame, and they've done that a couple of times this year, Reagan, where they've had the period won, they've done everything they can, but the opposition is able to score with seconds left on the clock. And look, we talked about the second period, CMU, the forecheck was great. The guys were moving so fast out on the ice. They were beating their men to the puck. They were playing good in transition. Now it's about you got to lock down. Lauren Jones has been playing terrific. He stopped more pucks than he should. Grand Valley looks like their game is being put up against them, pressuring themselves. So it's, look, CMU has to finish the job right now, and it has to come from all four lines this period.
Central Michigan will head as they did in period number one, left to right. White jerseys, maroon and gold trim. Maroon helmets, maroon pants, and white socks. GVSU wearing those all blue unis with some white and black trim to go along with the royal blue. Now Stankiewicz flopping a little bit in the creases. He had a bit of contact from Ben Rychuk. As we're underway in period two, Central Michigan conceded a late goal in that second period that cut their cut their lead to one. Keelan Baker halts just inside his own line to pick up the loose change and sends it out to neutral ice. Across the way, Lakers across to the near side. Here's Mulder cutting it on Jones. Let the backhand go. It didn't go through. Behind the net, here's Fauché. Pressured by Rychuk and Kamara. Got it up high. Bouncing puck blocked. And now a pass ahead. It's gloved out of the air by Sam Giorno.
Nice job by Hayden Flynn. And how about Rychuk and Baker right there to close them in? The Lakers can claim the blue line, but they cannot gain the slot area right now.
Central Michigan doing a good job to lock down defensively. They got a one-goal lead on the number 15 team in the nation here in the start of period number 3. Long stretch pass. Intercepted at neutral ice there by Dylan Resnick. Had an assist on that Chevalier goal. Siraki dropped it off defensively for Kamara. Up through neutral ice to Nathan Bottles. Fanned on the pass. Gets it back though. Unable to step around the defense. Tyler Martin turns and swats it into the offensive end. The Lakers working right to left here in period number 3. Up over the line, on the left side, Dundas dropped it off, and a shot there by Petersmark deflected wide. Puck tied up along the half wall across the way. 2 minutes gone in period 3. Siraki worked it up the wall, picked off by Resnick, and his man in front, Dundas, hopped up in the air so as not to block that shot. Not free behind the net off the ensuing opportunity. Austin Ritter turns and dumps it down the ice. Icing the obvious call here with 17:39 to go in period 3.
Yeah, that might not have been the smartest move. This line of Bottles, Martin, Tyler Martin that is, and Siraki's been out here for the last minute and a half or so, and they were trying to gain the blue line, couldn't get it past that, and the Lakers pressuring them in their own zone forced them to pull that icing. And for Siraki right now, dead town on the ice, has to go against Gall, who's been pretty solid tonight in that faceoff circle.
Siraki won it cleanly, works it around the boards across the way. Tyler Martin tied up with his man. It comes free. Here's Bonzer. It's loose puck to the right point, took a deflection wide of Jones. Rebound thrown out in front, nets off its moorings. It somehow got back onto it. Now Bonzer working at the top of the left circle. Pressured there by Nathan Bottles. Here's Gall. Down low from a tight angle, and Jones thought he had it, and he is slow to get up. It goes wide, clutching at that midsection. It looks like that shot may have missed his padding, and he's laboring down to that end to our left. Play whistle down for...
Looked like maybe a high stick, I think, on Grand Valley's side. Regardless, Reagan, looks like head coach Dylan Knox, assistant coach Matthew Sarkozy, and Ron Clark, they made some adjustments at halftime, that period intermission, because Grand Valley is shooting the puck a lot more the last minute especially. They've gained this offensive zone time, and look, they're just getting this puck on net. Lauren Jones, and he hasn't allowed one yet.
Andrew pours on it to the outside across the line. His wrist shot saved by Stankiewicz. Rebound is covered, and some mischief behind the net. Jay Nadeau getting into it with Eric Gall.
Well, that's good on Nadeau's part to try and finish that play and whack away at it. That's usually how CMU's been scoring a lot of their goals late in these, just banging away at it down low if the puck's loose. And Stankiewicz has had some trouble with the rebounds tonight. He's been a little better than expected in that category. And right now, I mean, for the Chips, it's just about continue that pressure. And look, they've been poised defensively, and they had to be as that one. Now they're going to get the icing the other way. It's been Grand Valley taking a lot more shots, looking a lot more sustained, and trying to get the puck just to Lauren Jones. And right now, coming the other way, Reagan, I honestly want your 2 cents about kind of the start to this period, because it's setting the tone right now for what could be a very fast and physical final 16 and a half minutes we got. That was Brandon Clements
ran into the referee, both of them skating backwards and not realizing the other one's proximity, and that garnering a cheer from the GVSU bench. Puck tied up along the near side. Brendan Clements keeps it in right point. Throws it down, collected off the wall. There by Julian Johnson. He's worked over, though, by Sam Jorno. 16:16 to go. Period 3. Now Johnson from a sharp angle, and that net comes off behind Stankiewicz, and that's been a source of trouble here at Martin. The net's held in by just the little tiny pegs. They come off a little bit more easier today than they have in the past.
And kind of looking forward for CMU, this is the final weekend series, Reagan, before they get ready to head out for that Miami of Ohio showcase, where they'll take on Nebraska, Missouri State, and IUP in the University of Pennsylvania.
Central Michigan generating a scoring chance off the face-off, unable to get much off of it, though. Keelan Baker taking a run at his man. Puck comes out to neutralize. GVSU changing. Dumped in there by Sam Camara. There's a stick free in the right circle. That may cause some trouble if the referees aren't able to pick it up and get it to the wall. Now the Lakers feed it up the wall. Coming up to the near side. Here's Paul. He's taken down hard. Now Keel takes a slash as he goes down.
And he's still being hooked.
Puck free, and a good save there by Jones now. 2 Chippewas tumbling over each other, and Camara and Rychuk, they battle for it behind the net with ball.
Have been letting them play tonight, Reagan, a lot more than probably we'd expect from this game. Only 1 penalty on each opposition side tonight, and CMU has the lone power play goal in this hockey game.
Central Michigan, some mess in front, and they score! A deflection in the slot beats Jones from about 15 feet out, and 2 goals in the last 6 minutes for GVSU, and they have deadlocked this game.
Yeah, that one came from Jacob Jansen at the top of the slot, and I originally, as you mentioned, thought it was just straight on there past the glove side and looked like it redirected. And credit to Grand Valley State with that offensive pressure they had the first 3 minutes. They tied this one up like they scored with 20 seconds left in the second period, and now starting this third, they have looked like the faster team. They've taken a lot more shots, and right there's evidence of it, getting it past Lauren Jones. And boy, just like that, a 2-2 hockey game. We were talking about CMU dominating the zone time.
Second time Central Michigan has had a lead on a number 15 team, but it's collapsed in the latter half. They led Saginaw Valley State at their own barn.
And this is a big test for that Central Michigan bench. We talked about head coach Brendan Martin, newly instated after Tyler Cataline was released earlier this week. How disciplined are they going to be? How controlled can they be in their emotions and get back into this hockey game? Still a lot of time to play, 14-20.
Miller chasing after Resnick, a neutral ice. It was worked free to Parkhurst. Parkhurst was able to feed it ahead to Fauché, but he lost it over the line. Now Resnick gains the red line, dumps it in. 14:05 to go, period 3. CMU And Grand Valley State deadlocked at 2. Jansen from Carroll and Van Solkema tying up the game for Grand Valley State at 5:06 of this third period. Both teams scoring in 2-goal spurts. CMU opened up the scoring early in that second period with Baker. And then Flynn got his first of the year. Now Nadu trying to dance into the slot. Referees certainly have been letting them play here at Martin. Not a lot of orange striped arms up in the air. Wozondik works it in. Lakers thought they may have gotten a power play there, but referees let it go. Now Julian Johnson through neutral ice, gets hacked at, and the loose puck comes free to Petersmark. Petersmark stripped of the puck there by Porzondik. Charlie Hayes pass through neutral ice, intercepted, and the Lakers dump it back in.
And you know, Reagan, with these teams being so evenly matched in the 5-on-5, every increment of a penalty or a minor change that comes from either side is going to have implication on the game. Whether that's CMU or in Grand Valley's favor is yet to be seen, but one thing's for sure, these two teams are going back and forth in the 5-on-5, and the referees are letting them play. No matter how physical it is, no matter how many flops you can take, it's going to be a dogfight till the end.
Aiden Flynn up the right wing. Kitty corners it into the opposite corner. Puck tied up with the official across the way. It's slapped to the near side. Sam Camara there to pick it up before he's run to the boards. And oh my goodness, the referee, though, I don't blame him for not seeing that. He was turned the other way. Baker turned to the boards. It's an unfortunate position for the referee to be in there, as it was an obvious high stick on the Lakers, but he was turned around, couldn't see it. Now look out, a block shot leads to an opportunity. Up the right wing, here come the Lakers into the shot. Good save there on Jansen, looking for his second of the night. Here's Gall. Shovels it across to the far side. Multiple players converging. Keelan Baker's out of the zone with the puck. We'll gain the red line, dump it in. 11:40 to go, period 3. CMU and Grand Valley State tied at 2. Sam Camara knocked down that stretch pass at neutral ice. Siraki tumbles over the line with his man. Jansen was able to work it free across the way. Here comes Mulder. Steaming up right wing to the outside with Kilb. And he let a shot go at it. A stanchion and popped right on the stick of Andrew Siraki. The freshman for CMU throws it around from near side to far. Siraki couldn't hold that puck in at the line as it hopped over his stick. Now he's pressured, turns and puts it up to Andrew Miller. Sent across the way, and icing is going to be the call against CMU. 10:59 to go.
Not moving his feet, but because of the icing, he sends it down the length of the way. Fans, after tomorrow's men's Division III game against Grand Valley State, it's a long break before both of these teams move on. And for CMU's side, the women's Division II team, the second semester will get underway when the women's team hosts Division I Pennsylvania State on 13th and 14th of January. You can watch both games of the weekend right here on CCHN, your home for Chippewa hockey.
Players go tumbling into the boards, and Devin, you were all awful professional. Pennsylvania State.
I know. No one says that. It's Penn State. Everyone knows it as that. We keep things formal here on CCHN. Everyone knows that, but that one's another whistle icing. And look, we just mentioned here on the ice the play, trying to get in transition with Siraki and Bottles. And, I want to see Austin Ritter. We talked about being team vice president, leader on this e-board. He's got to have a bigger game. He's got to have more, I wouldn't say discipline. He's played well to this point, but we talked about cleaning up the silly mistakes. Every single icing adds up for this team, especially late in the game, and you just got to be more poised with the puck on your stick.
Just barely off sides. Couldn't be kept in by the Lakers. They have to regroup and neutralize. Stretch pass ahead, bouncing off the stick of Owen Carroll. Here's Andrew Porzonic on the right side, dumps it in. Jane Adu speeding in after it, trying to throw it out in front. Good defensive block there by the Laker defenseman who was back there for Grand Valley. Now here's Carroll. He'll tee it up and fire. And gloved out of the air there by Lauren Jones. 10-10 to go, period 3, 2-2.
And this is the first time since that first period we've seen Grand Valley get their feet under them. They're working as a cohesive unit, getting in transition, passing the puck up. As we mentioned, 14 different forwards on this team have amounted a goal this season, and 10 of those have at least 3. Look, it's a scoring affair no matter who you put out on the ice for this Laker team. And boy, if they get going, they're dangerous, and they're showing that.
Look out, Jay Nadeau chasing after the puck. Icing waved off due to his speed. Dropped it off to the right point. Clemens comes in and gets the worst end of a hit, drawing some applause from the blue bench across the way. Now look out, a giveaway at the line, and here come the Lakers. Fauché trying to get around Charlie Hayes, but he was good in the back check, and a big hit there by Parkhurst on his opposite number, Charlie Hayes. Physicality, the name of this hockey game. Two big squads known for their physicality. Now Julian Johnson battling for the puck just over the line, gets stripped of it, and the Lakers unable to get it out. Now Johnson chasing in after it on his knees. It was worked free by Nielsen. Down to the near side, here's Parkhurst. Stretch pass ahead, intended for Carey, and he goes right after Braden Kilb, who put it into the Chippewa bench, and we'll have a stoppage of play. 9:05 to go in period 3.
Boy, Braden Kilb's had a really nice game. Another notable freshman that's played well in this. If you're looking for game reports, stats, schedules, and much more, take a trip to cmichicehockey.com. There you can find those and much more, including player information, recruiting information, apparel, and more. That's cmichicehockey.com.
You need to work on your transitions, Devin.
Thanks, man. Well, it doesn't hurt when you're pressuring me to put these ad reads on, but
You're the
I've
one
done a
who
good
was yelling
job
at
with
me
them.
in the first period.
Oh, give me a break. Stick to the game, bud.
I am sticking to the game. And we also have to put these ad reads out.
Yeah, we do. Yep, part of the business.
8:46 to go here in period 3. Braden Kilb blew a tire. Here the Lakers gain control in the offensive end. It's worked up. Here's a shot through traffic, and they score! 3 unanswered goals, this one by Sam Gorno. It's 3-2 GVSU with 8:34 to go in period 3.
Yep, the same area that plagued Jones earlier in this period. Top of the slot, gets it past that blocker side. He went that time. I thought it might have been redirected, but it went straight on from Gorno's stick. And look, that just comes after GV. We talked about how they got their offensive transition going. They were playing a lot better in the cycle. They get the puck up to the slot, and a one-time wrister gets it past Lauren Jones. And just like that, as Reagan mentioned, 3 unanswered, and Gorno's 4th of the year puts GV back on, or I should say on top for the first time in this hockey game.
Gorno was wide open in the slot, and it was a good wrister. I thought it may have ticked off of something out in front. I heard it deflect, and Siraki can't beat out that icing. So the draw will come back in the CMU territory, but for
So Petersmark gets the assist. And Chevrolet. So Petersmark's 5th of the season. Chevrolet's 9th assist of the year. As we mentioned, Gorno's 4th goal of the year. So, look, across the board, this offense group is finally getting involved for GV. Chevrolet's had a wonderful night, Reagan. I think that's a goal and assist now for him tonight.
Yeah, a goal. He got the scoring started for the Lovers. Up left wing, look out. Here's Bottles in with a shot and a good old-fashioned Dominic Hasek-esque save from Dominic Stankiewicz. A bit of a unorthodox goaltender. Now
Bottles gets up on the play
from behind. My goodness, no call on the rebound. Is taken there by Jones and held on, but my goodness, you'd think that would have drawn a penalty.
Yeah, referees definitely letting them go with this game. That's a couple of trips now that I would say just from a bird's eye view have been missed on the officiating side. But look, Grand Valley once again with good sustained pressure. Chevrolet trying to move in, trying to collect his own rebound, and Jones saw both shots. That's still wonderful play, and it can't be taken away that Lauren Jones has had a great game. I would say it's just somewhat of defensive breakdowns that have led to Grand Valley goals. And look, with 7:56 right now, we talked about the new coaching move. Brennan Martin, he's got to give some spunk to the Central Michigan team that was buzzing in the second period, and now it's the opposite effect.
Yeah, momentum swinging all the way in favor of GV. Now they try to stuff it home. It was loose on the crease for a moment. Clements cleared it away. Now Resnick bumped up against the boards. Mulder chopped it down low. Clements after it, gloved out of the air by Mulder on the clearance, and now they've got some shoves and
Looks like they're going to call a hand pass there on Brandon Clements.
yeah, their hand pass is actually going to be on GVSU here.
Oh, word. Okay.
So the pucks and the face-off is going to come outside the zone. Draw just in front of us here outside the line. Charlie Hayes collects off the draw win for CMU. Pass played across. GVSU has hemmed CMU in their own zone. And here's Mulder. He'll tee it up and fire a shot that deflects up and out of play on a laser from Mulder.
Boy, and for guys like Eric Gall and Dylan Resnick, they are just skating around CMU's best forwards, Jay Nadeau and Andrew Porzondik. You know, we can't be understated that when players are out of the lineup, Isaac Gibbs, Connor Morgan, Kyle Chapman, your biggest players have to step up right here. And look, in the last 7 to 10 minutes, it's got to come from those top scorers. Andrew Porzondik leads his team in goal scoring. Jay Nadeau's had a good couple of weeks. It's got to come from those groups because their bottom 6 forwards have been playing well. I look at Ben Rychuk, Hayden Flynn, Andrew Miller's had a pretty good solid game. Tyler Martin's been out there more. It's got to come from their leaders.
Now Charlie Hayes trying to exit the zone. It's knocked away. Here's a turnaround shot there by Gall from the right circle. That was knocked away, and here come the Chippewas in a 3-on-2. Ben Rychuk across that line, right side. Will pull up along the half wall. Pressured there by a couple of Lakers. He takes a tumble, and we're going to have a penalty.
Yep, drawing the whistle right there. I believe it's going to be a trip coming up. Ben Rychuk trying to move wide with it. Had inside positioning with the body. Is now Reagan hooking is the official call. And look, this is massive. CMU's second power play of the game. We talked about how when it's 5-on-5 strength, it's been even matchups, but Grand Valley's been the better team. Now CMU gets this power play. They get a chance to put this at the blue line. Once again, a hooking confirmed it. This is a massive play. They got Nathan Bottles, Jay Nadeau. You got to go back up to the point. You got to get Christopher Martin, Charlie Hayes connecting it. Look to get something down low on a backdoor chance. This is a massive power play with 6:35 to go in the hockey game.
CMU 1-for-1 on
there
the
it
power
is.
play.
Hayes.
Here's Charlie Hayes, left circle, a shot, blocked it up and out of play by Dominic Stankiewicz.
And how many times this year, Reagan?
Now Stankiewicz is down. And maybe you should consider a career in soccer.
We'll wait to see the call. It looks like Stankiewicz shaking up on it. Over on the bench is the backup goaltender, Davis Zeismer, positioning himself with his pads on, waiting to go in if he needs. It looks like Stankiewicz gets up, and boy, we're going to get another face-off draw here. And, you know, I was just talking about how many times have we seen the puck come back to the blue line. Christopher Martin shifts it over to Hayes Reagan. They get the entire body of staff moving, and it frees up the ice. It frees up the slot area the opposite side. That's what CMU has to capitalize on if they want to make this power play happen here, as we're going to talk it. Brendan Martin came over to the refereeing stand for just a moment there.
Talking with the referee. And a quick note to the scorer's table. 6:12 to go in period 3. Time not going as Central Michigan has an opportunity. Across the way, Charlie Hayes to the near side. Bottles, back door, they score! Is it Andrew Porzondik on the back door? I do believe it is. Pretty pieces of passing from Central Michigan, and it's Jay Nadeau getting Central Michigan even.
Now, how about what we talked about it? Get it up to the blue line. Kind of a broken play develops, but they get it back down low, shifting the offense the other way. It frees up the opposite side as Grand Valley's defenders can't keep the back door. And, boy, Jay Nadeau's there to close it out. And how about we just talked about the biggest players need to step up in the biggest moments. And Jay Nadeau, one of the leaders of this forecheck group, just did it right there to tie up the hockey game with 6:05 to go. Central Michigan's second power play goal of the night.
And for Nadeau, that's goal number 8 on the campaign. And what great vision by Nathan Bottles, stationed in the right wing circle, was able to find Nadeau across the way, and who made absolutely the right decision and just hammered it home.
And don't forget, he's the one that kept that play alive in the slot area when it was broken.
Indeed, from the right circle. Oh, a nasty deflection out in front by Fauché. It took a hop off of his skate, but it skittered wide, and now the Chippewas are able to collect and move it out to neutral ice. Nadeau's 8th of the year, ties it at 13:55, and with about 5 to play, we are deadlocked in Martin Ice Arena. These two teams have not played in just over 2 years. Last time they took to the ice against each other was the 2020 North Regional Semifinal for Division 3, and Johnson gets clobbered from behind. Porzondik feeds it to the near side.
Reagan, the same year, Central Michigan won their second Vezina Cup title, and they're playing the reigning Vezina Cup champions, the winner of the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference.
Now look out, an outlet pass. Petersmark falls down. Almost had a golden opportunity, but he stretched out just too far for that one. 4:34 to go here in period number 3. Johnson gets it, head to Porzondik, had to split the referees. Not often one has to say that in the broadcast booth. Usually it's split the defense. Here's Martin. Threw it on ahead to Julian Johnson. He tipped it into the offensive end. 4:12 to go, period 3. Deadlocked at 3 apiece here at Martin Ice Arena. First of 2 games this weekend between these Lakers and Chippewas. Now on the right wing, or down the left wing, it's worked free, and Hayden Flynn picks it up for CMU before taking a hit and a slash there from Chevalier. Now Chevalier from the left point throws it wide, and Ben Rychuk will will put some pressure on the gas pedal and move up ice left wing. Couldn't get to it in time, though, as it was knocked away from him, and now a high stick taken there by Hayden, by Austin Ritter, and absolutely no call from the referees. They have been letting these teams play. Now Ben Rychuk finds the loose puck in the right corner around behind the net. Lakers defending for a pass. They know what Ben Rychuk normally does on those wraparounds. They eventually work it free, and the Lakers control behind their own net. Around the boards, it's taken across the way by Petersmark. Worked away from him by Flynn, feeding it out in front, and the loose puck is taken by the Lakers.
And Central, the last 2.5 minutes, Reagan, have really taken away the puck possession time right now, controlling the neutral zone, not allowing Grand Valley to have any transition the other way or stretch passes. Look out, another one intercepted that time by Bosner's own man.
Mulder was racing for that puck. That pass was intended for him, but it couldn't get through the crowd at the Martin Ice Arena logo at center ice. Lauren Jones holds on to that one from in tight.
You know, Lauren Jones has had time to kind of refresh himself, Reagan. He hasn't seen as many shots. Being right now in this game where it is, he has to have fresh energy to keep the play going if he has to make a save.
Andrew Siraki up the left wing. He's got 7 in 4. Trying to get his 8th goal in the last 3 series. Up the right wing, here's Mulder for the Lakers. Steps to the outside. His shot was partially blocked, and Andrew Siraki sends it across the way for Nathan Bottles. Oh, work to the outside across that line. Lost the puck. Will go to the corner. Shoved to the boards there by Sam Mullen. Bottles has help, but it's 2-on-3. CMU, the one-man deficit in the puck battle in the corner. Great job by Nathan Bottles to pin that puck up, and eventually it's worked free. Porzondik trying to come in on a sharp angle. It's knocked away. Across the way, Nathan Bottles, dead tired, will head off the ice. Braden Kilb to the near side, 1:47 to go in period 3. We are tied at 3. Central Michigan scored the game-tying goal.
That was dangerous.
5 minutes left.
Kilb just fanned on that pass attempt, and Charles Bonsner worked in there to take it away, and luckily CMU was able to keep the zone possession time. 1:30 to go in this hockey game.
Behind his own net, Sam Camara, outlet stretch pass to Jay Nadeau. It took 2 hops off him, one off his blade, one off of his skate. And that'll lead to a turnover. Up the near side, Fauché. Great back check by Keelan Baker as we've got 72 seconds to go in regulation. To the near side, Jansen had the first goal of the night for the Lakers. Set it in, and Lauren Jones, and Baker and Jansen exchanging words after Jansen came hard in on the net, but Nothing
I'll tell you
will come
what.
of it. 62 seconds to go in regulation.
This is the exact personnel both teams want out here for the Lakers. They've got Cole Parkhurst. They've got the people they want. Faucho. They have the staff. And for CMU right now, this is an important face-off for Ben Rydchuk. How poised is the senior from Granville going to be? He's had a goal in this hockey, or an assist in this hockey game. Lost that one, though.
Oh, Jansen's shot took an odd carom off of Jones. He's still scrambling to get back between the pipes. Puck is tied up behind the net. Ben Rydchuk takes a chop from Fauché. And eventually it comes free with Austin Ritter to the near side. Throws it up the ice. Hayden Flynn taken down, and hand pass is going to be called on who?
And they're calling it on the Lakers right here,
GDSU.
13. And Noah Faucha and the bench is not happy about that one. They're arguing that it went off the knob of his stick, I believe. And from my angle, that's what I thought I saw. But they do call that a hand pass indeed, and they'll come outside the blue line. That's so important, Reagan, because they were kind of pinned there for a second. Austin Ritter was trying to get it out, couldn't gain possession of it. And this one forces them to get another draw.
And a punctilious call there by the referee. He saw that from his angle, Fauché had swiped at it with his glove, made contact with it, and was able to get it in. And they're still trying to fix the net behind Lauren Jones, and eventually it is deemed to be playable. 40 seconds to go in regulation. Puck is down. We are going. Here's Jay Nadeau. Turns on the Jets to the outside. Here's a shot off the glove of Stankiewicz. Comes free behind the goal. 27 seconds to go. Taking it away is Ben Rydchuk to the outside. Taken from behind. He'll retreat back to neutral ice. Austin Ritter a pass ahead. Skipped past Jay Nadeau, and the Lakers will take it back behind their own net. 10 seconds to go. Lakers may have one opportunity for a rush, but they turn it over at neutral ice. Brendan Clemens takes it and fires it in. Goes off of a Laker and into the bench. And oh boy, Ben Rydchuk, no surprise in the middle of that scrum across the way. Came in hard.
Yeah.
After one of the Lakers took Siraki hard to the boards. 3 seconds to go in regulation. Puck will be at center ice, barring a miracle. These two teams seem to be headed to overtime. Johnson to dig in. Puck is tied up in neutral ice. Lakers to the outside, long shot, and it'll go wide. And we are headed to overtime. Central Michigan, despite trailing with 11:26 to go, 11:26 gone, we're able to come back and tie up the game. Overtime coming up right after this here on CCHN. "60 minutes in the books, but that is not enough time for these two hockey teams here tonight. Central Michigan and Grand Valley State deadlocked at 3, headed to the extra frame. Devin, Central Michigan showing some fight, coming back and tying this game with just over 6 minutes to go.
They have. Grand Valley scored 3 unanswered goals, 2 of them coming within, I think, 5 minutes of each other. If you go back to the end of that second period, well, they allowed a goal with 20 seconds left. And look, Reagan, the fight has been in this team through this first and second period. They look like the better team. They were controlling the neutral zone, deflecting passes. although I would say that third period, it got away from them. They were allowing a lot more offensive zone time. Grand Valley was taking so many more shots on Lauren Jones. But the fact of the matter is, when the penalties have come, CMU has capitalized. 2 for 2 on the power play tonight. I don't think they had 2 power plays goals in a game in their last 5 or 6. So impressive, and this is what we talked about before the game. If they were going to score and capitalize, it was going to have to come on the power play, which Grand Valley has struggled with all year if we're going to give them a weakness. And look, this overtime is going to be so important, not just for Lauren Jones, but how does Stankiewicz perform? How does Grand Valley block shots in front? It's going to be, as we already said, a dogfight. I don't even know what more you could call it for this overtime.
Last time Central Michigan had multiple power play goals, it was November 5th, back against in an 8-2 win against Michigan Flint. And before that, they had 3 power play goals in the 6-5 OT loss to Notre Dame. CMU and Grand Valley State, the number 15 team in the American Collegiate Hockey Association, headed to overtime. It'll be 3-on-3 extra period. And the teams will flip sides. A long change here in this overtime. Stankiewicz in net to our left. Jones in net to our right. Fauché out there with Chevalier and Giorno. Bottles, Siraki, and Martin out there for Central Michigan. Lots of open ice in 3-on-3 overtime. We'll see what happens. Nathan Bottles playing catch with Christopher Martin. He'll shovel it on ahead to Nathan Bottles to the outside. He'll try the wrap around. He's got plenty of room. Holding it up high. Holds up at the right point. He'll let a shot go. That was deflected out in front, and now a long stretch pass. It was tipped there by Chevalier. Now the Lakers, now in possession for the first time here in overtime. 40 seconds gone in the extra period.
Boy, and Grand Valley's so good in the open ice, though. We're going to see them spread this puck out in the 3-on-3.
Here's Fauché up the right wing. Oh, barely onside. Now a loose puck at the right point. And the Chippewa end is battled for along the near side. Andrew Siraki chasing after it, and Chevalier ends up in possession. 1:04 gone in overtime. Here's Chevalier against pass. Nadeau will put it into the second gear on the near side, pull up the point, and throw it in. Behind the net, Nielsen on the near side. Nielsen up to the right point, pressured by Martin. He's out there with Porzondik and Nadeau defensively for CMU. Up top, here's Dundas, the leading point scorer for GVSU. Throws it ahead. Here's a shot by Resnick on the turnaround. 3:23 to go in overtime. Dundas puts on the brakes. He holds in the left corner. Changing places. He'll work it up top for Resnick. He keeps it in just barely. Slides it across to Dundas. He fan on the one-timer. And now they feed it out in front. Saved by Jones and the rebound. Oh my goodness! He kept it out! The referee, I thought, had pointed into the net.
Oh my!
But on second inspection, he waves it off. And Lauren Jones, on a miracle, keeps that puck out of the net.
This is point blank. This is a shot you should not save. He tries to go on the blocker side, short side, past Jones, and he finds it. The goaltender gets that stop, and the referee gives him the whistle. And my goodness, if you can't think of a bigger save in the game, what about the season? Lauren Jones, absolutely massive. Grand Valley thought they had it in hand. It stays overtime.
GVSU wins the offensive zone draw. Parkhurst behind the net. Throws it free. It's taken here by Petersmark. Petersmark worked over there by Sam Camara. Central Michigan in possession of the puck for the first time in about 2 minutes. 2:36 to go. And no penalty called. GVSU wanting one. They are not going to get one. Petersmark throws it to the slot. Nathan Bottles took it away. It's loose. And taken there by Andrew Siraki. He's got 7 goals in the last 4 games. We'll work up the left side. Drop it off for Nathan Bottles. Bottles around the outside. Takes it behind Stankiewicz. To the top of the right circle. He's got a man on him in Petersmark. Parkhurst. Now Bottles out in front. It skipped past Siraki. Siraki keeps it alive though. 124 seconds to go in overtime. Porzondik dumps it into the corner. Parkhurst pressured there by Porzondik. It comes free, kept in there by Camara. Camara to the opposite side, lets a shot go. It was contested. 1:49 to go in overtime. Now the Lakers give it away. Here's Porzondik, throws it to the near side for Nadeau. Jay Nadeau in the offensive end. Change places. He goes to the other side. How is that not a hooking penalty?
We're going to play one defenseman high right there. Camara's back.
Now up the right wingers, Jensen over the line. Who working with a shot and a glove save by Lauren Jones, but oh my goodness. The Lakers get away with the hook of the century on the far side. Jay Nadeau taken down on the top of the right wing circle. Couldn't get much of a shot off, and the Lakers go back the other way and get a golden opportunity.
We just mentioned it. The power play would have been huge for CMU as they're 2 for 2 on the night. None coming, 1:25 to play. Massive face-off.
Chippewas unable to win it to the near side. Chevalier up at the right point. He'll slide it across for Bex. Down low, it's Fauché. Fauché holding on to it, trading places with Bex. He holds it high slot, steps away from Baker, spins across Chevalier, score! That might have taken a deflection off of Brendan Clements out in front, and the Grand Valley State Lakers survive, scoring at 3:57 of overtime, and the Lakers get the first game of the series 4-3 in overtime.
What a job by Grand Valley to finish. We talked about the forecheck presser. They get the key face-off in their favor, and it leads to a goal right there. And as you mentioned, Chevrolet, either way, will have at least 3 points on the night. And with that one, we'll take a break and talk about it in the post-game show. Stay with us, folks. Grand Valley wins this one in overtime, 4-3. We'll be back.
And we're back here inside Martin Ice Arena. It's a crushing 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Lakers for CMU here tonight, but you took the number 15 team in the country to overtime. What's that say, Devin, for you?
It means Central Michigan is a good team. They played a really well game against a really good opponent, but Grand Valley State was just one step better. We were talking about how at the end of this one, it could have gone either way. There were some big stops in clutch times for both goaltenders. Stankiewicz, Jones, they both came up big. Lauren Jones had the save of the game there in overtime with about 2 minutes left to keep it overtime. Couldn't keep it out of the back of the net as Chevalier gets the game winner. But, I mean, so impressive for the Chippewas just from their defensive poise. They had a lot more stick-on-puck defensive work, as me and Calvin Keys, our cameraman, was talking about, was they just had a lot more time, giving Grand Valley less open ice time to work with, a lot less composure and space to allow their forecheck to start passing the puck well. And CMU, when they had forecheck and when they needed to, they did. They scored. They went up 2-0 in this game. They, I think, had, 2 power play goals on 2 chances. It was a really good game for the Chippewas, and one they just couldn't close out, which, to be honest, I'm not upset about because it could have gone either way for these squads.
Exactly. Central Michigan had a couple of good opportunities in overtime, couldn't capitalize, but you do mention power play goals on both of their opportunities tonight, and
they capitalized.
That's big for CMU. That's the second time they have had multiple power play goals against a top 25 team. The last one came in that overtime loss to Notre Dame. So CMU, if they can capitalize on those power plays, they are in pretty darn good shape. Let's take a more detailed look at this one. Things were scoreless through the opening period, Devin, and it seemed to be pretty much back and forth. CMU getting a couple of good chances, Grand Valley State getting a couple of good chances.
Yeah, and this was the first time we really saw, CMU could hang with the number 15 team in the country. They shut them down on offense. They didn't allow them to get the neutral zone. Yeah, there were some missed passes here and there from CMU's side. We'll talk about it. But, look, they kept themselves composed. Didn't take bad penalties. They had that one too many men in the first 4 minutes of the game. Killed that one off. Didn't have another. So they did everything they could against the team that, the game plan was don't take stupid penalties. Keep them pinned in their own zone. Pressure them. Take Grand Valley's game to them. And they did that, and like we're going to talk about here, much more composed play in the first period. And then the second, the floodgates opened.
Yeah, exactly. Keelan Baker, when Carey was sent to the box, 2 minutes for a tripping at 2:47, 11 seconds into the power play. Baker tipped home a Camara shot, and Central Michigan rightfully went wild.
Yeah, and what a goal there for, you talked about the first one from Flynn and Rychuk. He made another wraparound chance. We saw him do this a couple of weeks ago against Saginaw Valley State, where he wrapped it around, got in front of Keelan Baker, and he stuffed it home. And Hayden Flynn was just right there, right time to one-time it. And that's no discredit to him because it was a great play and great transition work from CMU. That's the one thing that impressed me the most about that play was just their ability to control the puck, able to make a good play happen, and Rychuk has just gotten better and better and better offensively. We used to call him, he's that defensive forward. He's just going to go out there and hit a guy. Not so much. He can make offense happen right there, and he's gotten a lot better through the midpoint of the season.
Rychuk's 6th assist of the year on Hayden Flynn's first at 13:52.
The numbers show it.
The goal Devin was talking about there, 2-0 for CMU, and we talked about the time clock in the middle of that second period. There was a bit of time where it stopped, and they didn't. I don't believe they reset it the next stoppage. So, and with GVSU getting the opportunity at the end of the period, scoring with 20 seconds left, maybe that time clock plays a little bit of a difference. But in the end, GVSU capitalized with 20 seconds left.
Well, I laugh because how many times have we joked this year that they've played such a good period in games that really, I think back to Notre Dame where, and Saginaw, they lit up goals within seconds left of the period ending. They just haven't found a way to close out these periods like they should. And when they had this game in control, if we go into the locker room 2-0, this is an entirely different game we're talking about right here. So it changed everything from that point on. And you saw Grand Valley play a lot better. They had 2 unanswered goals in that third to start. So everything matters. Every minute matters, and every second. And that's something that heading forward, when you play good games like this and good teams and good tilts, you have to close out the periods.
Yeah, Chevalier is first of the night at 19:40, made it 2-1 at the end of 40 minutes. Grand Valley State controlled the shot category throughout the game. They had a 28-20 advantage at the end of 2 periods. 5:06 into the third period. The Lakers leveled things with with Jensen getting his first of the night from Carroll and Van Selkema, and it was really there that the tables turned. Central Michigan kind of seemed to play a little bit flat in the middle part of that third period.
Yeah, and credit to Grand Valley. They made adjustments at halftime, intermission. Head coach Daryl Knox made some good communication with his team, I felt, where he was saying, hey guys, let's calm down. Let's play our style of hockey. Let's get this puck transitioning better. Let's pin them in their own zone. Let's get them tired. They did that for most of that period, but coming back to Chippewas, they weren't out of this game completely, and a lot of that is a credit to this coaching staff now by head coached by Brendan Martin.
Yeah, exactly, and things would seem to get a little bit worse for Central Michigan at the 11:26 mark. Giorno let a shot go from the high slot.
Getting ahead of myself, but yeah, you're right. They did let that goal for the go-ahead one.
Yeah, and then for Central Michigan, they only spent 2 minutes down in this hockey game outside of outside of that, obviously the final score, but they were only trailing for about 2 minutes in this hockey game. Jay Nadeau and Nathan Models connecting on the power play to tie up the hockey game.
Like we said, the power play was so crucial. You knew it was going to matter, especially the way they scored that first one with Rychuk and Flynn. And if we're talking storylines for tomorrow, look, how does Grand Valley's penalty kill unit respond? The referees let a lot of penalties go today that, let's be frank, should have been called weren't on either side the way you look at it. And they just capitalized. They just made the most of their opportunities, and that's what you got to be impressed with so much by this team where, we said earlier this year, can they capitalize on those power plays? Can they reverse the fate they've had? They did it this hockey game.
Exactly, and in overtime, as both these two teams would be deadlocked at the end of regulation, it was pretty back and forth for the first 3 minutes and 57 seconds until Jay Nadeau got hooked in the top of the right circle. That led to a turnover for Grand Valley. They go down the ice. Lauren Jones is forced to make a crazy save, and it leads to an offensive zone draw for Grand Valley, and Chevalier let a shot go from the right point. It looked like it may have deflected off of Brandon Clements right in front of Lauren Jones. It's a goal that you're frustrated with if you're CMU, but yes, you lose to Grand Valley State, but this isn't a team to hang your head about losing in overtime to.
They get the point.
You were resilient. You came back and were able to even up the score after you let up 3 unanswered goals. It's another show of resilience for the CMU club, which has had trouble doing that in the past.
Yeah, I just can't agree with you more, Reagan. I mean, they were resilient tonight. Even when they were flat in the third, they didn't give up. They didn't give in. Like I said, I can't give enough credit to this coaching staff that came in tonight. Brendan Martin, they looked so much more calm. They looked so focused out there. The focus level was impressive, and you can just tell there was a lot more energy on the bench this game.
Yeah, and taking a look at our players to watch, Andrew Siraki, Austin Ritter, and Dundas for GVSU. None of them, believe it or not, got on the scoring sheet here tonight. The only one of our players to watch that could have gotten on the scoring sheet was Dominic Stankiewicz. He played a solid game in net for Grand Valley State. A couple of those goals you really can't do anything about if you're a netminder. So those were our players to watch. And Devin, our keys to the game were need to score first, hold the lead, coaching, and outman the Lakers.
Yeah, and you know what? They did 2/3 of that in this game, I thought. It was so impressive to see them go up 2-0. They were outmanning them all game. They were winning the physicality battle. And like I said, the pressure was on Grand Valley. They really felt like in their own zone they couldn't control the puck. And when they tried to clear it out, CMU would get in the passing lanes. Braden Keogh, Hayden Flynn, I can't give enough credit. They had amazing games in that category, but can't hold the lead. They give up 3 unanswered. It leads to a 3-2 game. They have to tie it up, go to overtime late, but look, the play continues for them. They get these leads in games. They can get up big, but they can't hold them.
Central Michigan has had trouble holding on to leads this season when they go in to the third period up. They are 8-1, now 8-2 on the year.
Oh.
It's been something that they have had trouble doing. They lost to Ferris State after giving up a 3-goal lead. Same thing with Saginaw Valley State. We saw them give up a lead 3 weekends ago against Adrian to make it a hockey game, and today 3 unanswered goals by Grand Valley. It's kind of the difference. Central Michigan has had trouble holding on to leads all season, and that's certainly going to have to improve heading into the bulk of their MCHC East schedule. Taking a look at our 3 stars of the game, Hayden Flynn notched his first of the campaign here tonight. the Chippewas' second goal of the game. He gets our third star. Lauren Jones, our second star. He withstood an onslaught by Grand Valley State. He played well tonight, including that save in overtime.
Yeah, and against great opponents, you need good goaltending. It's such a cliche. It's what you say every game, but especially against good teams. I don't hang any head on Lauren Jones for this loss. He played a terrific game. He made some massive stops. He stopped the 3-on-2s. He stopped the point-blank chances. He saved the game on a number of times. There is a point where we talk about so much about this goaltending battle. Which one's going to be the starter? Which one's better? Which one's not? Right now, they're on equal plane. Elijah Jones and Lauren Jones. And for Lauren, who played in a program in Fenton where there wasn't a lot of winning, he comes to Central, has played the most games now, 10 of all those goaltenders. A wonderful night for him and nothing to hang his head about. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the starter tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, especially with how he's played here tonight in his debut for under Coach Brennan Martin, who gets his first point as a Chippewa head coach here tonight. Taking a look at our first star of the game, Chevalier, obviously 2 goals and the game-winning goal, including an assist as well. His shot from the right point was the difference in this one.
It was, and Chevalier, 3 points on the night, 2 goals and an assist, right? I mean, can't say enough about him. And in offense, we said so much about spreading the wealth of the puck. He was the player to step up for them. He did everything right in transition. Looked really fast. Oh, boy. Even for a big body like himself, I mean, it shows how strong of a team they have, the depth, the lineup, but they have the big players to score when it matters most.
Chevalier now within 1 of Parkhurst in the goal lead for Grand Valley State. He's got 7 on the campaign with those 2 here tonight. Central Michigan falling to 9-5-2 on the year. GVSU improves to 14-2. These 2 teams back in action tomorrow afternoon at 2. Calvin Keys and Devin Sarah on the call for you. That we'll have that right for you here on CCHN starting at 2:05 broadcast time here on the CMU Club Hockey Network. One final look at the out-of-town scoreboard. In the ACHA, number 1 Springfield in action tomorrow against Thomas. Hope defeating Rowan 7-2 last night. Sacred Heart playing tonight against Marine Merchant, and Saginaw Valley State taking on Davenport as well. Grand Rapids losing 4-0 to Hartford out on the East Coast, wrapping up their East Coast trip. They will be back in action next Friday as they take on the same Hartford Wolfpack on Friday at 7. The Spirit in action tomorrow against North Bay at 2. Red Wings losing to Dallas 3-2 in overtime, and Oakland is up 6-3 on Michigan Flint. The only other in the third period, Oakland and Michigan Flint, the only other MCHC teams in division play here this weekend. CMU women's hockey is in action on January 13th after the break against Penn State. That'll be right here at Martin Ice Arena. Devin, any final thoughts on the game before we head out?
I think one thing we can talk about in the story going into tomorrow is this was probably an even game. From Grand Valley gets the 2 points, Central gets the 1. It's going to be the continuation of what we saw. I think CMU is going to look at those power plays and go, look, we can beat these guys in the 5-on-4. They're going to look at the 5-on-5 and go, hey, we're good in some spots, flat in others. It's going to take a full lineup of good play to keep Grand Valley at bay. And credit to those 3rd and 4th lines. The bottom 6 forwards coming up big today with injuries to Connor Morgan. Isaac Gibbs is still out of the lineup. Owen Campbell. Boy, is it going to be fun to watch this Chippewa team when we come out of the break and get those healthy bodies back. But it's a strong showing, and I think one that, look, you look at the rankings, CMU's 34th. This is a number 15 team in the country. Very, very underrated. It was a great game and a great showing, and CMU proved tonight they can hang with the best of the best, just like they did when they lost in overtime to Notre Dame. This is going to be a fun one to watch tomorrow, folks, and I wouldn't miss it for the world if I were you.
Well, you have to be here. You're on
air tomorrow. I'm letting the audience know, the parents, the fans, the coaches. This is a game you do not want to miss. Grand Valley and Central Michigan tomorrow at 2:30 with myself and Calvin Keys.
Exactly, and that'll just about do it for us here tonight. But before we head out, our special thanks to Derek Steele, who was our producer here tonight, and Calvin Keys, our cameraman. Thank you both so much for coming out here tonight and helping us. That'll just about do it for us here tonight, but we'll be right back here tomorrow at 2 when these 2 teams wrap up their weekend series. Until then, this is Reagan Cleaves, Fort Evans, Sarah, and everybody else here at CCHN saying so long from Martin Ice Arena in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, as the Central Michigan Chippewas fall to the Grand Valley State Lakers 4-3 in overtime. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful night, everybody.